Batteries fully charged. Launch ready for WWE Aftershock in 3, 2, 1. World Wrestling Entertainment Discussion is live. Cue host Owen Finch.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to WWE Aftershock Week 14. I hate to say this, but this is probably the worst week that we're going to cover in WWE Aftershock. Fingers crossed it is the worst week because, just news-wise, it was bad. I'm glad the weeks were taken off is this week because it was a pretty bad week news-wise for WWE. I know AEW Spark, their crew, have had some off weeks. I feel like this is going to be one of our off weeks. And the funny thing is, NXT isn't even the show that makes it the bad week this time around. It's the main roster, but we'll talk about that when we get there. I'm Owen the Birdman Finch, by the way, and I'm here with
Chris.
You ready? Let's just cover it. So I'll just read the comment now because we had a comment right before we started, I think. It was from Zero, as always, and he said that he can't wait to hear our thoughts about Raw After Mania. And he says that Raw After Mania was dog shit. Well, that's his opinion. Let's see if we think that. But yeah, I've actually been waiting all week to cover Raw After Mania. I would have loved to do this show over the weekend, but it was Easter weekend that weekend. And I think James was busy anyway, so we couldn't have done it. It is what it is. But how funny, let's just say this, Chris. For once, NXT was not the worst show of the week. I think this is like a one time that's happened.
It was the best.
I think it was, honestly, which never happens. And the funny thing, I hate to say that.
What, like, I don't even know how many years.
I was gonna say the New Year's Evil episode where Grayson Waller fought Braun Baker for the belt, but I'm pretty sure that was the same SmackDown where I think you could correct me if I'm wrong. I think that was the same SmackDown where KO fought Sammy, and the DQ finished where they all laid him out and stuff. And I think so that wouldn't have been.
I think that was the same week, yeah.
So I think that week's SmackDown was the best show. But yeah, let's just say Raw was a complete shit show on screen and backstage. I'm really disappointed about it. We'll talk more about it as we go through. But if you remember, Chris, before I let you take the reins and host the WAD portion, I think all year, like when we first started doing the WWE Aftershock, like weekly, we were talking the Raw After Mania is going to be awesome this year. Let's also keep this in mind, by the way. We haven't really gotten like a good Raw After Mania. I think since WrestleMania 35, the Raw after that show, because obviously there's been the pandemic the past couple of years. We had the Raw in 2020 wasn't anything special because it was like right when the pandemic was going on. I didn't see the Raw after WrestleMania 37, but I heard that was a shit show. That was like, and I feel like too a lot of people hated that show because they had just seen WrestleMania and like NXT stand and deliver in front of the crowd, and they had to go right back to the Thunderdome like right after that. I don't think Raw after WrestleMania 38 was bad, but I remember nothing really significant happens on that show. I think the biggest surprise on that show was Ezekiel debut, and that just shows you how much of a memorable show that is for me. Because I don't even remember what else happened on the Raw after West. I guess maybe Braun Breaker winning the NXT Championship.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
So I was thinking, and also because it's the Triple H era. It was the Triple H era, which we don't know if we still are there or not there, which we'll talk about that later. But we're thinking, okay, we're going to have all these debuts. We're thinking Jay White's going to debut. We're thinking Matt Cardona's going to come back, / Zack Ryder. We're thinking, at least at the time, we thought the FTR was going to / the Revival were going to return because it was looking that way. So we're thinking this is going to be like an all-time great Raw. Randy Orton's probably coming back. AJ Styles is coming back. We're thinking all these people are going to come back for the Raw after WrestleMania. I was even thinking to myself, too, the show's been so great anyways. I wouldn't complain if it didn't happen because I remember at the Rumble, we didn't get like a lot of surprise return, but the Rumble's matches themselves and everything like that ended up being pretty damn great because Triple H decided to showcase like the future talent and everything like that. So like, okay, we can see why Triple H didn't want to go back to the past. So we were thinking, if Triple H just booked a good wrestling show, I don't think we would complain about it. Well, let's talk about the Raw after WrestleMania, Chris. Why don't you take us through bit by bit what happened so we can kind of, now that I kind of gave you I got the date wrong on my notes. It was not April.
So, yeah.
I think it was April 3rd, actually.
No, it was because the second was it was the Sunday.
Yeah.
So Raw was in Los Angeles, California.
Mm-hmm.
And we're thinking this is going to be this show is going to be fucking awesome. We've been waiting for it all fucking day.
Yeah.
And
we were kind of in a bad mood too, I think. I didn't really mention this. We talked about it last week. Because we wanted Cody to beat Roman at Mania, and then he didn't. So then we were dreading it a little bit in that way, but we were kind of intrigued about it to see like if they were going to do something with Cody. They did something with Cody, but we'll talk about that later. So I want to make sure we mention that before we actually go through it.
So it was kind of WrestleMania ended on a sour note for a lot of us. But at the same time, it was like, okay, it's the Raw after Mania.
Mm-hmm.
I'm expecting at least 2 or 3 call-ups from NXT and like at least 3 or 4 return/debuts. Just to kind of like give the fans something to look forward to. We literally didn't get any of that.
Yeah.
So
I think we got one return, which we'll talk about.
Yes. So Triple H comes out, and this is after the merger talks of UFC or under the Endeavor or whatever I think it's called Endeavor brand.
Yeah,
that's owned by the UFC.
I should mention too. We were like concerned. I think a little concerned. We obviously you and I talked about it, but because this feels like a retro. That's how at this point because so much happened going into the show. But because there was Vince McMahon went on like I forget which news site. I think it was probably like the Los Angeles News, just because that's where Raw was. Because it was right after the merger. He went on and said that like he would be doing something creatively, but it would be
that was in CNN. He went on CNN.
CNN, yeah. I don't think I saw it on CNN. I think I just saw it on like
it was probably like a clip, the clip from. I didn't see the whole thing either. I just knew it was on CNN.
Yeah, but we were I think a little bit concerned, but then we heard otherwise that like there was an email that Vince sent out saying that Triple H was still going to be head of creative. So we were like kind of hot and cold going into this Raw. But yeah, let's just go through it.
So Triple H, we thought people thought he was going to come out and get booed out of the building. He didn't. He came out, huge pop as per usual.
Yeah.
Goes over his spiel that he normally would say. Thanks the crew, thanks the staff. He didn't even mention the merger or anything like that.
He kind of alludes to it though a little bit.
Yeah, he alludes to it, but he doesn't like really bring it up or anything.
Yeah, which I think was kind of
he doesn't bring it up either on SmackDown.
Yeah, which I think I kind of thought it was necessary for him to at least talk about it. It's just weird that they didn't the WWE's been sold and it hasn't been mentioned like on screen.
I just think because it's not officially official yet. Like they have the announcement up and everything, but it's not like it's not official yet.
Yeah.
I think it's still in the reportedly sold stage still.
Yeah.
But he basically says then now together forever. And he brings out Roman Reigns.
Mm-hmm.
And Triple H goes up the ramp and then embraces Roman. And then Roman comes up, and then Roman goes to the ring and whatnot. I think it's just a pretty standard Triple H promo.
Yeah.
Although he said that nothing's gonna happen.
Oh boy, we won. Yeah.
Man, that was a lie. That was a flat out.
Yeah. I don't think he was lying. But then we found, I don't know what happened, but we found out that was a lie. But we'll talk about that some more later.
But so Roman's out there and does his typical thing. Lots of booze, lots of Roman sucks chants. But before he could even say anything, really, after Hollywood acknowledged me, Cody's music hits, and he comes out. He comes to the ring, and he basically says that he wants a rematch.
Mm-hmm.
And after Roman concurs with Paul Heyman, they say that you're not going to get your rematch, but instead we're going to have a tag match. It's going to be Roman and Solo versus Cody and a mystery partner, which was reported all day that was going to be the thing. But instead of it being a mystery partner, it was someone who had to have competed on WrestleMania Night 1. So,
and also, whoever steps up can't challenge Roman Reigns for the title. After that,
and Brock Lesnar's music hits,
and
it's like, what the fuck? Okay, he comes out and he starts manhandling Cody. Brett, not like he like starts jerking him around.
Yeah,
puts his arm around him. Cody looks absolutely terrified, by the way. And he said basically it's is going to be Cody's partner to face Roman and Solo.
Yeah.
In the main event of the evening. It was very weird. It's a very weird segment because it starts out with Triple H doing Then Now Together Forever, and that basically nothing's going to change. And then you have the Roman promo, and then Brock comes out and says that he's going to be Cody's tag partner. That was weird because we were expecting it to be a surprise return or a debut.
But this was still pretty big because then
it was still a huge segment, though.
Yeah, because we were thinking because Brock never wrestles on Raw, so we're thinking, okay, they're actually going to do something big here. I get that. It was really cool. It obviously changes later, but we'll talk about that. So this segment was a win. I did like that they teased us when Cody wanted his rematch, like on that show. I was thinking it was actually going to happen because I'm like, okay, so they brought in Roman Reigns for a reason. Then, if I was thinking because they weren't just because I feel like Reigns would have just done this on SmackDown, but that was not the case. I thought like Cody would say, "I wanted my rematch tonight," because we've seen before. It would have made Raw huge if Cody had beaten Roman the night after WrestleMania, because at least there would have been that Mania crowd there still when Cody won the title and everything like that. It would have been a huge surprise, and I think no one would have expected it, anything like that. So. And especially, too, they could have set up to it really nicely, too, where, because the stuff happened that happens with Roman later in the show and everything like that. So this segment was, I'm going to give it, a thumbs in the middle just because I would have gotten thumbs up, but with what happens later in the show, it kind of ruins this segment. But it was huge. This did feel like a Vince segment in the sense that, of course, all night, the commentators, which were Kevin Patrick and Corey Graves, would not shut up about the fact that this was a WrestleMania-sized main event. Like, that definitely felt like a Vince thing to say. He kept saying it all night, and it was so annoying by, the end of the show. I was just annoyed about it at the fact. I don't think, too, you could definitely feel that it was a Vince change when they say, because it's not like, too, they say it, in the beginning, right when the match gets made. It's like, they keep advertising the match, and you could definitely notice Vince is in their ears at that point because it's a WrestleMania. It's middle of the show they start saying it. So it's it was so annoying at that point. But yeah, you'll definitely notice this key things in there. A lot of people I think pointed to this that Vince was back right on the show because of course he was in no rush to book Roman versus Brock. That was Vince's big match. He loved booking when he was running.
Oh yeah.
So apparently that was not the case because there was reports recently that this was planned. I think all day. I think Brock was originally meant to be the mystery partner. I don't think we were meant to find out that Brock was going to be the partner. I think it was just going to be a mystery. I heard that there was supposed to be a segment where Cody was on the phone backstage, and then it was going to be Brock. But obviously that was not to be. it did make sense for it to be Brock because as we talked about it, Brock doesn't have anything to lose because he already can't challenge Roman Reigns for the title, which I don't think was ever official. I feel like that was definitely a change. They never mentioned it like at SummerSlam or anything like that. Yeah, they mentioned it's like the last time ever, but they never mentioned like he can't actually challenge for the championship. So that was kind of weird. But yeah, this segment was still like a thumbs in the middle. What did you think of it?
I kind of liked it, but I'm the thumbs in the middle too. Like, it's just like, I know it's like it's just a weird. It was a really weird segment to start out with.
Yeah.
But I didn't. It wasn't like offensive to watch, but like,
I mean, I was kind of mad. They did put that stipulation in place, like it had to be someone that competed at WrestleMania.
Yeah, that was stupid. I hated that.
Because then it was obvious that it wasn't going to be like a return, like an AJ Styles return or Randy Orton return, or like even a Bray Wyatt return, which would have made sense. It wasn't going to be Bobby Lashley because technically he didn't compete at WrestleMania; he was just there.
Yeah.
So I feel like they kind of like ruined it a little bit by saying it had to be someone that competed at WrestleMania. So because it wasn't going to be like a surprise return or anything like that. So
yeah, that's what pissed me off. I was like, really? Like,
yeah.
come on. But anyway, so the first match of the evening on this stacked show that was just blows you away. It's Omos versus Elias.
Mm-hmm.
And by the time that I said that match, the match was already over.
It's terrible, yeah.
It was a quick, squeaky squash match.
Yo.
What the fuck are they doing with Elias? And Omos wins, obviously. Because
Yeah.
it wouldn't make any sense if it's a quick squash match and Elias wins.
Unless it's like a roll up or something, yeah. I don't even think he could roll up Omos either. Like,
I, for one, don't know what the fuck they're doing with Elias.
I don't know either.
Is he just the guy that goes out there and jobs? First of all, his theme song, I get it, he sings it and it's his music, but it doesn't fit him at all.
Yeah.
It's like a Christian rock music, and it's like, I get it, like because he is a Christian, but like, he's Catholic, and I just don't get, like, it doesn't fit him at all. It just doesn't fit him at all. I miss his other theme song was so much better.
Yeah.
But it's just, they don't know what the fuck they're doing with him. I don't know what the fuck they're doing with him.
And this has been going on like before Vince came back this week, like
long before. And this is a fucking this is a Triple H guy. This is a Triple H product.
Yeah.
Like I'm surprised. Like he was the one that was adamant about Elias coming back.
Yeah. I know.
And then Elias comes back, and he fucking jobs about every week.
I know.
Like, what the fuck?
Well, to be honest, one of the weeks was Vic Boog's fault because he misread Elias. Well, I can't really say he misread his lips because he read his lips pretty well when he told Bronson.
He read his lips pretty well. I mean, he did say that he wanted a match against Bronson Reed.
So that one was that was Vic Boog's fault that he got jobbed out there because this is, But yeah, I don't know. There was no misreading lips here, so I don't understand what was going on here. So
yeah, like it's just don't know what the fuck they're doing.
I don't really get why they this was the first. I was so disappointed that the first match on the WrestleMania, like the Raw after WrestleMania, was freaking Omos versus Elias. Like, yeah, that's gonna put butts in the seats. That's gonna keep people watching. That's gonna keep people tuned in.
That's gonna make me want to tune in. First thing I see is a fucking squash match between Elias and Omos.
The whole thing too was like the big thing. Like Raw was commercial free. I was like, oh yeah, this is great. We get to see a commercial free Raw for I think they said the first half hour, and the half hour was pretty. Oh, the first hour. Oh, yeah, that was NXT. That was the first half hour.
Yeah.
But yeah, they were like, this is the first hour. Yeah, this match wasn't going to get a commercial break anyway. So what are you doing here?
There was two things that happened. And it was 3 segments in one match.
I didn't really get why they brought Omos back this week. It didn't even make any sense. He lost at WrestleMania. He should have taken a week off. It didn't even make any sense for him to come back. It was like he didn't even lose.
Just to get his win back.
Yeah. The win that he didn't even need anyways. This was terrible. If we were doing star ratings, this is a negative 3-star match. Yes, it's a squash match, but it's a squash match that didn't do anything for anybody. It was terrible.
It's bad. So after that, they cut to the back, and the Usos are very much so clothed, but also very naked without the championships.
They look weird, yeah.
They look fucking bizarre.
They had belts for like what over 2 years at that.
Yeah, they had the championships since they beat Dominic and Ray for the titles in 2021.
Yeah, so it's so weird
to now see them without championships for the first time in fucking God knows how long.
Yeah,
over almost 500 days.
Yeah,
without championship, like with championships, and now to see them without it was bizarre.
Because it's gonna look weird when Roman doesn't have them, but the thing is, Roman never actually really holds his championships. Really, like the Usos hold their titles all the time.
Yeah, they have them around their waist. They have them over their shoulders, and around the waist. It's like
it's like
they're physically touching the belt every single day they had them.
Yeah,
and it was really fucking weird to see them without it.
Yeah,
they look very naked without those championships.
They do.
But they go back to Roman's suite and to talk to Roman. And before they could, Heyman comes out and says that him and Solo are talking strategy outside.
Yeah,
that was very odd. And he said that Heyman said that the jet's fired up. Go sit in the jet, and there's all food in there waiting for you.
Better not be freaking seafood this time.
It was seafood because they're fucking Samoan, and seafood's the best food on the planet. So you child.
It should have been steak, mashed potatoes, and
get that seafood, all that delicious seafood. So they walk away. They're gonna go to the private jet, and Paul Heyman opens the door, and Roman peeks his head out and asks if they're still there. And he says, no, they're going to the private jet. And he went, okay. And then Heyman went back into the dressing room, into their locker room, their private locker room. And I was like, I was like, oh my God. I'm like, it's not cohesive now. Heyman said they were outside, and they weren't. They were very much inside. Looks like Roman just didn't want to talk to them. He was very angry at them.
You can't blame him. They lost at WrestleMania, and he won. So,
but I like the segment. It definitely shows that the bloodline is kind of cut in half a little bit here.
This definitely felt like a Triple H type segment. This honestly did feel like a little bit of a segment Vince would have booked, because that's like the one thing Vince was booking right before he retired was the bloodline stuff. So this was a massive like thumbs up here. I like that they're teasing dissension in the bloodline, and I'm personally okay with this. Because if you're gonna keep the belt on Reigns for at least till SummerSlam, you need to do this. You need to show that there's cracks for them, especially since the Usos lost their tag titles. There needs to be like a consequence. And boy, they're not. They're not. Roman Reigns is not happy with them. I don't think they got. I will kind of come back to the seafood talk. There's a few seafood items I will allow. Not lobster, not shrimp, but they can have salmon, they can have cod, they can have swordfish, they can have scallops, but they can't have any of that other stuff. Those are the seafoods that I will allow.
Man, you need to get some taste.
I do have some taste. I mentioned all that other stuff I liked. So
you need to get some fucking taste.
Glad I'm not in the. Hey, you know what? Glad I'm not in the bloodline, because if Roman Reigns tried feeding me that stuff, I would have turned on the bloodline faster than Sami Zayn did. I would have been hitting him in the back with a freaking tray that the freaking seafood's on. So.
Oh yeah, that delicious seafood. Let's go. I would be on that private jet. I would never leave.
You'd have to leave at some point.
Out of my seat with a fucking with a forklift to get me out of that seat.
We'll see. But anyhow, this was a good segment right here.
Yeah, I liked it. And then they cut to break and they come back, and then they do the highlights from Hall of Fame and WrestleMania again. They'll do these video package throughout the day. throughout the night with just highlights from WrestleMania. So Kathy Kelly's ringside to talk about Backlash with Bad Bunny, who's still in attendance at ringside.
Yes, he is.
He says that he's very much excited to host Backlash in his home country of Puerto Rico, and he goes back and forth between speaking English and speaking Spanish for a little bit, and then he sits back down, and then Rey Mysterio comes out, and he greets Bad Bunny at ringside. By the way, this changed entirely. This is one of the things that got changed. So I think this is where the old man took over.
Yeah.
So it's Theory versus Rey Mysterio for the U.S. Championship. And I will say this, before this match, there was supposed to be a segment with Bad Bunny and getting inducted into the LWO. Introduced into the LWO. So that was supposed to be the segment that was before this, but it wasn't because they changed it for some fucking strange reason.
So you asked Monday, you're going to mention where was Legado? Well, now you know where. Vince didn't want him there. So,
yep, made no sense.
Well,
bring the stable back just for them to not do anything with it.
SmackDown fixes that problem.
Yeah, that is true. They did. So Theory versus Rey Mysterio is next. Rey Mysterio looks like he's about to go for the 619, and then that little fucking pissing piece of shit, fucking ungrateful piece of shit son, Dominic, comes out with Damian Priest. Distracts Rey, and Theory hits the A-Tag down for the win. After the match, Bad Bunny gets the shit beaten out of him by Damian Priest and Dominic Mysterio. They throw him through the fucking table, and yeah, it was just brutal. The fact that he took that fucking bump, that bump he took was fucking insane to the table.
Yeah.
And basically the whole time Damian Priest was like trying not to get involved. But again, typical heel. They never follow up on their words.
Yes.
Because he's friends with Bad Bunny, and he beat the living piss out of him. What a good friend he is.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought that the match itself was fine. But the post match set up a lot of things for the future, and I like that.
Yeah. So I liked this. Let's say like Ray and Dom, Theory. I almost said Ray and Dom, but Theory and Dom put on a good match, considering the fact that they had to basically probably have a match on the fly since the segment was changed. So to show that they can. Well, the biggest negative is you would not have known Theory beat John Cena the night prior if he didn't mention it, because he did not feel different at all out there. They mentioned that he was going to get eaten alive by the Mania crowd, and they didn't really eat him alive as much as you would have thought. So it was he pretty much got, I think, the same reaction he would have gotten without the John Cena match. So I don't know if the John Cena match really did a lot for him that we as much as we thought. And then I like the Bad Bunny stuff. So I would give this like a thumbs up. It just sucks that I feel like this segment would have gotten a lot more heat had we had it the way we would have, where they would have inducted, obviously it was only Damian and Dominic that were out there. Finn Balor wasn't there because of his injury from WrestleMania, and we see Rhea Ripley later. So I thought this segment was like one of the few segments that worked. I would give it a thumbs up.
Yeah, I honestly, I really like this segment. I would have liked it better if he was in the LWO and then they beat him up afterwards, because that would have meant something a little bit more.
Yeah.
Because I would have gave like Legado like a reason to be there.
Yeah. And you asked, where was Legado? Now you know where they were. They were pulled.
They were cut for time.
Yes.
With the old adage in the WWE, they were cut for time.
Yes, they were.
Which is stupid. Yeah. Nothing should be cut for time. Ever. That when I read that, like the next day, that pissed me off, because I'm like,
yeah,
that should never, that if you're gonna bring back the Latino World Order, you're gonna cut it for time when they're about to introduce the biggest fucking Latin American fucking star in the world right now in music
Yeah, I don't
and
even.
entertainment. Like, what the fuck? There's no point for him to even be there besides to set up the match for Backlash.
Yeah.
But anyway, so we go to the back before the commercial break, and Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn are there.
Mm-hmm.
And we see them, and the crowd goes fucking crazy because it's Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, and they're your new undisputed WWE Tag Team Champions. We come back from break, and they do the same thing, like I said before, where they show more stills from WrestleMania 39, and what happened and whatnot. They cut back to Corey Graves, who they basically show us again what happened at Bad Bunny, like we didn't fucking see it beforehand. That's such a Vince thing to do. Also,
this is another Vince thing. They mentioned that Bad Bunny was taken to a local medical facility, so that's a big Vince thing. He never would say hospital or anything like that. So that's where
say hospital.
Yeah.
But this is such a Vince thing to do. Also, it's person gets beaten up. They go to commercial break, come back from commercial break, and they just re-show the beating again. Yeah, like it literally just happened, not even 5 minutes ago.
Yeah,
like so. You don't need to show us again him getting beat up, and we already saw it.
I think we saw like 3 times the whole show. Like
that got more airtime than the LWO did.
Yeah, it did. And you know, they were cut for time. Such a Vince thing. We saw it at WrestleMania 10. He loves showing recaps and stuff. It's like, oh, now we don't have time to show the NWO.
That's true.
I wasted all this time showing footage of what already happened.
It's not even like it happened earlier in the night, and then
it just happened.
And then, like before the main event, or like at like 10:30, they show it again, and it's like, no, this literally just happened 5 minutes ago. With people are watching the fucking show, Vince, you idiot.
I know.
Like, it's not like people tuned in at 8:30 and were like, time to watch Raw now.
Yeah,
it's live, right? It went on. It goes on at 8:30.
You know what? I feel like too. Another Vince thing that he loved to do. I think he did. I think it showed its way here. 10 minutes before the show, he loved doing this. Like, if you just tuned in now, here's what you're like. Why would people tune into wrestling 10 minutes before it's over? Like,
here's what you missed.
It's like that's a big Vince thing. Like 10 minutes before 10 minutes before the show's over. Oh, here's what you've been missing all night. It's like, if you just tuned in now, like, yeah, people gotta tune into a show 10 minutes before it's over.
10 minutes before it's over, and here's 2.5 hours worth of show in 5 minutes. Not even like 2 minutes.
And it makes the fans that like have been watching the whole time like feel like they wasted their time. It's like, okay, so I could have just tuned in the last 10 minutes. I'd be all fine.
You got the cliff notes essentially.
So talk about burying your show. Yeah, what a Vince trope.
So Adam Pearce is backstage, and he's yelling at Damian Priest for hitting Bad Bunny because Bunny was a guest. Priest says that Bunny provoked them, and Priest says that if he didn't like Bunny and if he wasn't friends with Bunny, then Pearce would have a reason to be upset. Yes. I like this segment because again, it has a reason for them to have a match at Backlash.
Yeah,
and he's such a shitty fucking friend. And I hope Rey Mysterio kicks his ass at Backlash.
Gives Damian Priest
for being a shitty friend.
It finally gives Damian Priest a storyline, because that's the biggest like criticism we've had, is that Damian Priest doesn't feel like he has really anything going on in the Judgment Day. Now that it gives him something to do. I felt like this segment was still going to happen regardless of Vince changed the show or not, because it seemed like it fit. So I liked this. It was good.
Yeah, it seems like the way that the show would have gone anyway.
Yeah.
So Kevin and Sami are out next. Huge pop. You deserve it. Chants left and right. Fans saying Olay at Sami and Kevin. Just awesome. And they were celebrating when they laid an open challenge.
Yeah.
And the Street Profits music hits because they won the Fatal 4-Way showcase match at WrestleMania. So they have a right. They chose to challenge for the tag team championships.
Actually, there's a mistake made. It wasn't I don't think it was a title match. I think this was non-title for some
Non-title. That's right. It was non-title because, yeah, for some reason they won a fucking showcase match and didn't earn a number one contendership for some reason.
All they had to do was make this a title match, and we
They
wouldn't have.
really did.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna go over this in full. I'm not gonna go over anything in full because, quite frankly, this show fucking doesn't deserve it.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say, out of all the fucking shit that happened on the show, just watch this match because, again, this match is just fucking great.
Yeah.
And of course, Kevin and Sami win because it wouldn't make any sense for them to lose the next night on Raw after just winning the tag titles.
Well, lucky they did win though, because if Vince was running the show, he very well could have had him lose. So
if Vince was running this part of the show, it would have been Kevin and Sami would have lost, and the tag team titles would have been on the line, and it would have been against fucking Nicholas and fucking Scripps, and Nicholas and Scripps would have won the tag team titles.
Yes, they would
for shock value.
But yeah, I like this. The only criticism is it should have been for the titles. I think another big criticism is Sami Zayn and KO didn't even mention the bloodline. They mentioned that they wanted Mania, but they didn't mention the fact that they interfered in the main event and failed. That was kind of weird. They didn't. It was kind of just like a typical babyface promo.
Yeah.
So I wish they would have mentioned mentioned that the bloodline was crumbling or something. Mentioned something about it. Mentioned why they didn't step up to be Cody's partner or something. Again, that could have been a Vince change. I don't know, but this is probably the biggest highlight of the show. It's probably this and the Bad Bunny thing, and then the show just goes downhill from here.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah.
So after the match, they celebrate, and then they show highlights of the Logan Paul versus Seth Rollins match. Rollins is backstage, and he's interviewed by Kathy Kelly. He says he feels good after sending Paul and KSI back to social media wasteland, but something just doesn't feel right. And then he fucking says, "I'm going to go to the ring," and then DJ hit my music. So they go to commercial break, and they come back, and Rollins struts his way to the ring. And this is bizarre because during the when he's in the ring, they basically just cut his fucking segment.
Mm-hmm. Not even in the ring, he's on the apron and they cut his segment. I think
the producers walk up to him and that was it. I was he was supposed to have a longer segment.
Mm-hmm.
But I think this is where Vince took over because because the feeling backstage was Triple H was doing busy work, is what they called it.
Yeah.
And Vince had the headset on at this point. Is where I'm thinking that he had the headset on because this seems like such a thing that would happen too.
Yeah.
If one person was running the show, because the first hour was run by Triple H, and then the next two were run by Vince.
Yeah.
And this seems like a miscommunication where Vince gets on the headset and he didn't want the segment, so he can't just rip up the script. The fucking show's been on for a while now. So he just basically just cut it short and had him out of there for some reason. Made fucking sense.
And I heard Seth was pissed that his segment was cut, as he should be.
He has every right to be pissed.
Yeah.
It was so fucking bizarre. I wonder if Logan Paul was supposed to be part of the segment.
Yeah, I don't know what happened here. At first I was thinking, okay, so Seth's going out there, that someone's coming here, Jay White's debuting here. That's what I was thinking, because that would make sense because Jay White, it's not it probably makes more sense for Jay White to go right after a AJ Styles or something, but it works for Jay White to go after Seth Rollins. Huh?
For a showcase match.
Yeah, because Jay White and Seth can put on a good match. I feel too, Seth Rollins can work the WWE style where Jay White hadn't yet. So they'd be okay, this is where Jay White's gonna show up. Especially too, because he could show up out of nowhere, hit the Blade Runner on Seth Rollins. And, it's a quick thing that can happen. And they'd be oh, my gosh. Because I'm okay, this feels because I felt like someone was coming out here, a debut.
It did feel like it, too.
But then, no, that wasn't the case. It was just
literally nothing happened.
Yeah, the segment was cut. This was awful. And I don't blame Seth Rollins for being pissed because One,
don't
he
either.
wasted his time going to the arena. It's not like he has, he's got to pay for parking and all that type of stuff just for a segment to be cut. He basically got paid to do nothing. Like, it's just terrible. I don't get, and it just didn't even make any sense. So
Yeah, it was bad, all around bad.
yeah,
Next, Kathy Kelly's backstage with Bobby Lashley, and basically just talking about how he won the fucking Under the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, which everyone fucking knew by now, and he wasn't even on WrestleMania, which was stupid.
oh, he was there, just not in a, just like
He was
40
there
seconds.
in street clothes.
Yeah.
Anyways, that brings to because Ali interrupts him, and that leads to a match between Bobby Lashley and Mustafa Ali, where you guessed it, another fucking squash match.
This definitely felt like Vince was changing the show, so they needed to fill time. That's what this felt like.
This is 2 fucking squash matches so far on the show.
Yeah, but this is
sucked.
Yeah. There's one thing that you missed. They did set up Bronson Reed, Bobby Lashley feud because Bronson Reed confronts him, which was like cool, I guess. But yeah, this definitely felt like Vince was changing the show, so they needed to fill time, and this is what this felt like. I didn't really get this. You could definitely tell that this was a Vince change, that Vince was running the show by this point because there was no more wrestling really happening on the show. You could definitely tell this was a Vince show by this point because Triple H likes to fill the 3 hours of Raw with wrestling, as we've seen the previous week and everything like that. And we had like a squash match here. Didn't even make any sense. Yeah, this was terrible.
Just not good. So they go to break and then they again more WrestleMania highlights in case if you didn't fucking watch the show, here it is.
This started feeling like a Vince thing, yeah.
So I kind of mixed these two together, but this is where this next segment was the one where Roman, Solo, and Heyman were backstage, and then he asked if the cousins were gone.
Yeah,
and Paul Heyman said yes. He also asked Brock if he knew where. He asked if he knew where Brock was, if he knew Brock would be here.
Yeah.
And Heyman says it's the day after WrestleMania. Lesnar usually takes 6 to 9 months off. And Reigns asked how it happened. And Heyman also brings up the fact that Brock can't compete for the championship.
Mm-hmm.
He's ineligible due to him losing the match against Reigns at SummerSlam.
Yeah.
And he has nothing to lose, and Brock has nothing to lose. But that was okay. And then he recollects on him smashing Lesnar.
Yeah.
Not sexually, but in the ring. Was one of his greatest accolades. Reigns says that he will smash Cody tonight. And then when he's done smashing them, that sounds fucking really weird. I don't know why he says that. It's very suggestive and very awkward.
Yeah.
That he'll tag in Solo, and then that Solo will beat the crap out of Cody, essentially.
Yeah, this was like a good segment, I guess. It definitely felt like there was some miscommunication a little in this segment because thinking about it now, I don't remember that ever being a stipulation where Brock couldn't compete for the championship. Like,
like damage.
If that was the
point.
Yeah, it also didn't feel like that because if that was the case, why was he in the Royal Rumble this year if he couldn't compete for the belt anyways? Like, it didn't even make any sense. It definitely felt like that's something that was thrown in there last minute. Like it felt like a thing that Vince threw in there last minute. And then this segment was fine. I feel like this segment was going to happen anyways, but I feel like because Vince had taken control of the show at this point, it definitely felt like this. I feel like the segment wasn't there to fill time, but because Vince had taken control of the show, it feels like the segment was there to fill time because Vince was changing the show. Even though this segment I think was going to be here anyways, because Vince was in control at this point, you would have felt like that, like it was there to fill time.
Oh, definitely. It definitely.
So
yeah.
I feel like too because I was still with these points. Why I didn't get into some of these segments is I was fucking processing that Seth Rollins segment. It was so weird I couldn't stop thinking about it the whole time.
Yeah, exactly. It was bizarre. Because it was like a fan video of like they had already cut to the Bobby Lashley thing.
Mm-hmm.
And Seth was like in the ring still.
Yeah.
And the producers were over like talking to him, and then he leaves the ring.
Yeah,
And
like
it's
it
what
was
the
just.
fuck just happened?
I think it could still. And then like I was processing the Bobby thing. Like, what was the point of that? So I was like, that's why I didn't get into this Roman segment as much because the show it was just starting to become such a shit show at this point.
It was a clusterfuck. So Bianca comes out next,
Oh, this was a clusterfuck.
and she comes out to a huge pop, holds the title, blah blah blah. Don't care. Rhea Ripley comes out, and they basically have a fucking standoff because of the champions. This is a fucking Vince thing. He always does this.
Yeah.
Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez come out as Rhea Ripley's going up the ramp, and of course, because they need to create a new storyline, Raquel Rodriguez has a stare down with Rhea Ripley, which doesn't make any fucking sense because they already set up a feud with Bianca and Rhea again.
Yeah.
Just bizarre.
Which doesn't make sense with Triple H's segment on SmackDown later.
Yeah, like it doesn't make any sense. Like
This definitely
is
felt
such
like
a Vince thing to do too.
Yeah.
Have both the champions come out and have a face off. He's been doing that for fucking 30 years.
I know. It didn't even make any sense.
Ever since he had two championships, it's been like, okay, one wins it or one retains, and the other one wins it or the other one retains. And then the next night on Raw, it's the fucking belts hold up segment. It's the fucking same formula for, I don't even know fucking how long, 20 years probably? More than that now, 25 years maybe?
Yeah. The only time it worked was obviously the one we can't talk about, which was the Chris Benoit Eddie Guerrero one. But like, there's other times it happened, like with the Triple H JBL things when they were doing that like backstage at Survivor Series. Batista and Triple H at No Mercies in like 07 when they won their championships, and like it's just, yeah, I don't know why Vince loves these segments. Like, this definitely did feel like a Vince segment, yeah. And then like, you're teasing a match they can't even deliver on because Bianca Belair is still the Raw Women's Champion. Rhea just won the SmackDown Women's belt. They legitimately tell you in this segment they're not going to do a match because Bianca says, well, we're going to have to wait because you're going to SmackDown. But like they even say in this match, we're not doing a match anytime soon. Why do this segment? Like it'd be one thing if tease a segment. Bianca literally says in the segment, yeah, so we can't really have a match right now because we're both different champions. Like, what are you doing this segment for then? You legitimately just told us we're not getting a segment. We're not getting a match, like, in this segment. This would be like in a movie. Two main characters have, like, a face-off, and then they're just like, hey, I'm going to go now I'm going to go out of state now, so we're not going to see each other for, like, the rest of the movie. That's pretty much what this was. Like, yeah. Like,
it's true, yeah.
And then I think we'll talk about it because you're about to cover the match. The tag match that happens was a Vince change because it was filled with Vince changes because there was supposed to be 2 triple threat matches. I forget exactly who was supposed to be in them, but there was supposed to be 2 triple threat matches. I think one was going to happen in the beginning of the show, probably one at not the end of the show, but like right before the main event, where the winners were probably going to face off each other this week, and the winner was going to face Bianca Belair, but Vince cut those segments. I don't think he cut him like in the beginning of the show. I think Vince had the headset on at this point, but I think Vince was making changes to the show like even before the show even happened. Just nothing major.
Yeah.
But they cut those 2 triple threat he cut those 2 triple threat matches right before the show. As we talked about on last week, there was supposed to be a segment with Asuka, I think, here because Asuka sent that tweet last week. What was the tweet last week? It was like, I'm going to go back to Japan or something like that. It was something
Yeah,
like that.
it's a cryptic tweet.
And I think it was meant to set something up here. It was a disaster not to have Asuka come out here for this. So I think that was a work. I think everyone thought Asuka was going to leave WWE, but then like, okay, they're going to probably do something with it tonight. This is why it's a misfire not to have Asuka come out here because then everyone thought Asuka was legitimately going to leave. So why would they do this? Like, I think Asuka was supposed to come out here and have like a faction or something, or do some type of thing to like Bianca Belair, but they never did anything with it. Like,
so they hot shotted the Vince fucking thing with the 2 belts again,
and basically said we're not going to face off anytime soon. Like,
dumb. So,
the next tag match is a freaking disaster too.
They set up. So this is a number 1 contenders match between Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez versus Dakota Kai and Io Sky.
Mm-hmm.
with no Bailey, not even a mention of Bailey.
Yep.
And from what I read, this is basically kaput for this stable.
Yep.
No sign of Bailey. They got jobbed out basically.
She got pulled. She got
a Hana bomb and an Oblivion and Liv and Raquel win.
Bailey was pulled from the Raw the last minute. I think everyone thought Bailey was going to leave because she sent a weird tweet after this. Again, why did Vince pull her? Because everyone thought Bailey was going to leave. And she has all the reason to leave because we could say what we want, but Sasha Banks is legitimately in another company right now. Her and Bailey are best friends. But Sasha Banks can get in her ear now and say, see, since you were pulled here, I'm just saying that you don't want that happening. But, yeah, this was a stupid thing by Vince. He pulled Bailey when her best friend's legitimately in another company right now. Can get in her ear and say, this is how they treat you. You had all this promise in the beginning. This is why I didn't come back. And, of course, Bailey sends the same cryptic tweet, right after the show, pretty much, saying, I think it was meant to be like a goodbye to Damage Control, but because she was pulled from the show, everybody took it as if she was leaving WWE because Vince is an idiot and pulled Bailey at the last minute. Honestly, this was just stupid. And then this is such a Vince thing to do. So we had the WrestleMania showcase match. I get Ronda can't compete right now because she's legitimately injured. But of course, they win and I guess Shayna was hurt too, so I understand that. But what a Vince thing to do. He books the two teams that lost at WrestleMania in a number one contender match. What a Vince thing to do. That's just terrible. It didn't even make any sense that they were number one contenders. Liv and Raquel lost at WrestleMania and Damage Control lost at WrestleMania. But yet they had a number one contenders match. It doesn't even make any sense. That was such a Vince thing to do. Anytime he always booked people that were in a losing streak to have number one contendership matches for no reason. Oh, this show's a freaking disaster now. You can just definitely tell this is Vince, by that Seth Rollins thing. This is just terrible. This was crap. The match wasn't even that good anyways. And it's just, it doesn't even make any sense why Liv and Raquel even have a tag title match. They're not even feuding with Becky and Lita.
They didn't win.
Yeah, they didn't win. It doesn't even make any sense. And you're doing a 1 week title bit. They even said it's gonna happen next week on Raw. It's why is it happening next week on Raw? We can't have I understand Triple H probably would have done it the next week on Raw, but I feel like Triple H would have he would have at least announced something about. He would have if the Triple H was gonna do this, he would have had Liv and Raquel win at WrestleMania. This is so stupid. What a disastrous segment this was. This is a disaster.
Just bad. Terrible. Just bad all around.
Yeah.
So after that, they basically say that when they stand tall, they confirm that next week, Liv and Raquel will face Lita and Becky Lynch.
Yeah. I feel like Lita and Becky were supposed. Weren't they pulled from the show the last minute also?
I don't even know at this point.
Yeah, I feel like Becky was because I'm pretty sure Lita was not supposed to stick around as long as she did when she originally won the belts. I think they were gonna drop them here, but Vince took over the fucking show last minute, and that's that. Because I feel like Lita was supposed to freaking lose the tag titles here because she's not a full time. She's not a full timer. She's a part timer pretty much.
Yeah. It's just, yeah, I don't know. This is the fucking show's bringing out the rails for a while now.
Mm-hmm.
So, the Miz goes to the ring, and he basically does. He complains about WrestleMania, about how he wrestled in a suit, and then how there was a lot of interference from Snoop Dogg, and
he actually brought up Shane. He actually brought up Shane McMahon.
Put him into some situations against Pat McAfee, George Kittle, and Snoop and Shane.
First mention of Shane.
He mentioned Jumpin' Shane, and he referenced the fact that Shane couldn't finish the match. He threw his fucking quad. And then he said that Snoop Dogg did the worst people's elbow of all time.
Mm-hmm.
Miz says that he's done with surprises and there'll be no more. And I thought that was a fucking debut. But nope! What do we get?
Yep.
Drug addict Matt Riddle. Great job. Yay, Matt Riddle. A person no one fucking cares about. Great. and he just beats the shit out of him, and then hits
Yeah,
the
this
corner.
is just
I don't fucking care about Matt Riddle. I just do not fucking care.
yeah.
I wasn't like, oh my god, it's Matt Riddle. This is awesome. I didn't fucking care.
I did pop a
Did not
little bit.
care.
I did pop a little bit because I was just like, wow, we actually got a return here. Because I think this is like our first return of the whole show. I'm like, yeah, we got something here. It was something. But yeah, I was not. I was disappointed it was Matt Riddle. I thought it was going to be like Zack Ryder coming back. I thought it was going to be Jay White finally debuting, which it wouldn't have made sense for him to attack The Miz, but at least he would have finally shown up. Because I feel like Jay White was going to get a big pop, so The Miz would have been a perfect person for it. But yeah, I don't care about the fact it was Matt Riddle. It didn't even make sense for Matt Riddle to come back here, considering the fact that they had the tag match later. But, they added that stupid stipulation where they had to compete at WrestleMania, so he couldn't come back there. And considering the fact that this is a spoiler, he shows up on SmackDown anyways, and that his return there would have been much more impactful. But
yeah, because it would have made sense.
at least we would have thought we didn't even get like an NXT call up out of this too. Like we could have gotten like a Braun Breaker here. We could have gotten a Cameron Grimes who's been doing dark matches anyways. We could have gotten like a Grayson Waller. I know you don't like him right now because he's being very mean, but we didn't even get him. It was Matt Riddle, like a guy that is just ruining his opportunities in WWE. Like he was being pushed really well, and he ruined it. And he can't get fired now. He's untouchable now because it's not like he's gonna get fired if he screws up again because they changed the wellness policy. So, yeah, it's just terrible.
Not to cut you off, by the way, also, but regardless of personal feelings about Matt Riddle aside, also, he's been ready to come back for literal months now.
Yep.
Why here? That was the first question I thought of when I heard he returned. Why the Raw after Mania?
Yeah.
It made zero fucking sense.
Especially attacking the Miz, which also made zero sense.
Yeah, what's his beef with Mike? Like, what's his issue with him? Isn't he in a feud with Pat McAfee or Snoop Dogg or whoever the fuck, Shane McMahon again?
Well, the last time we saw Matt Riddle, he got taken out by Solo Sikoa.
Right, so his issue should have been with Solo. Why isn't he in that spot?
And they fixed that on SmackDown, but the return was diminished because he was already on Raw. So it's like he didn't even... Yeah, it was just stupid.
And by the way, I did go back in the history. Riddle did, in fact, give Cody the stink eye when they were talking about friendship with Orton while that was happening. So it proved my point even more so. Like, if they were going to do this shit here, like, it should have been Riddle in the spot on Raw instead of fucking Lesnar. At least Riddle would have made sense.
We'll talk about that later, yeah.
But fuck. Yeah. Go ahead, continue. Sorry, I had to interject there because I don't think people realize how long he's been ready to come back. He's been ready to come back since after the Rumble.
Yeah, so he could have come back.
He's been ready for fucking 2 months now to fucking come back.
Yeah.
Lashley could have fucking used it. Christ. Or
definitely,
or fucking LA Knight.
Definitely LA Knight. Yeah, that would have been awesome.
Him and Riddle would have killed it. Would have torn the roof off the joint.
Ha. But anyhow, Chris, continue with Raw.
So, they're backstage. Not damage control. The Trish.
Oh, there's one thing I want to mention before, because you forgot one thing about the Miz segment. So they show him backstage. The reason I wrote that segment down is because they showed Chad Gable. And Maximum Male Models, like Coleman Otis' hair, and they were fighting over it and stuff. I would typically say it's a good Triple H thing because that was a Triple H thing, but I have a feeling they were supposed to probably have like a backstage segment there, but Vince cut that for time too.
Everything's cut for time.
Because Vince had to save time for the main event.
So Byron Saxon's backstage with Trish, Lita, and Becky, and that she basically said that she's been dealing with fucking damage control for 9 months and that she wants it to fucking be over with.
Yeah, talks about him anyways.
Yeah, I don't know why.
Such a Vince thing to do there too.
And they said their goal is to restore the prestige to the titles, which they aren't. So, yeah, don't get to throw away segment.
Very throwaway.
Next, we have the main event, which is Brock and Cody versus Solo and Roman. Yeah, not much of a fucking match, by the way, because when they're doing the introductions, Cody gets the shit beaten out of him by Brock for no reason. He just, by the way, and I was watching this when I was watching it, I was like, this has been going on for far too long, and it did, and it would drag on, on, and 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 on. And I was like, Jesus Christ, just fucking stop. And I was watching it, and I'm like, this is a Vince. This is the Vince thing to do. Vince gives fucking Brock a 45-minute beatdown for no fucking reason.
Yeah, cuts the Bad Bunny joining LWO because it was cut for time type of thing.
Yeah, it was like fucking 7 minutes.
Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck? I'm like, this is like a typical Vince thing to do. To have Brock do a fucking 7-minute beatdown that goes on way too fucking long.
Yeah.
He just annihilates Cody. Puts him over the fucking barricade with the suplex. Hits him with fucking 75 F5s. Hits him with a chair a bunch of times. F5s him on the fucking the steps.
Yeah.
Scares the fucking referees and people away. Medical professionals away. Goes back up the ramp. Turns around. Before the fucking camera could catch it, which is hilarious, he flips off the camera. Yeah. I don't like this.
No.
I didn't like it at all, actually.
This we can't blame.
This was in the books for like a month and a half.
Yeah.
I get it. Cody has to go through hard times in order to get a championship, but yeah, this sucked.
It did. It doesn't even make sense. They're trying to make sense out of it because on SmackDown they mentioned, well, Brock was in the opening match at WrestleMania while Cody made event. It's like, that's Brock's own fault because he didn't want to wrestle today.
Oh my god, I saw that report. I couldn't fucking beve it. I'm sorry, I have to interject. I can't wait any longer. This is like...
Well, let me talk.
Go ahead, talk. Go ahead.
But yeah, this was terrible. Yeah, this was in the books for a month. One, it would have made more sense had Cody won the belt anyways, because you know, at least it would have been a title match come out of it. I get they want to keep Cody and Roman separated because they don't want Cody getting a title match for a while. But yet you could have kept them separated by doing a freaking 6-man tag like I recommended with Cody, KO, and Sammy versus the Bloodline. Well, Cody and Riddle versus Solo and Roman in a tag match, anyways. But they added that stupid stipulation where you know, it's just really stupid. Who really wins? Who benefits from a Cody Brock feud? Because if Endeavor's buying out, and if the UFC and WWE are merging, are they gonna want Brock to fucking lose to Cody because Brock was a UFC guy at one point, and you know. It's just terrible there, but Cody can't lose right now. He legitimately just lost at Mania, and he cannot lose to Brock right now. And it can't be any of this, oh, Cody's going to win, but like barely win type of thing. Like, Cody needs to get a definitive win on Brock Lesnar. None of this, oh, Brock gets him in like the Kimura, and he rolls him over and pins him type of thing. Or, like they do the thing where like Brock gets him in a full Nelson or something, Cody... They do the Survivor Series 96 finish where Cody rolls out of it and stuff. Like, Cody needs to get a definitive win on Brock Lesnar. And as you told me off air, Chris, what was it? You told me something off air that I don't remember. Oh, beating Brock doesn't mean much anymore because he's lost so often now. He lost to Roman.
Lost to everybody. He's lost to everybody that was a big name that they were trying to push as the top guy.
Yeah. But yeah, this was awful. One, I don't know how Brock's going to be a heel now, too, because the Cowboy Brock thing works as a face.
It was so over!
Yeah. But yeah, James, I pretty much said everything. What do you want to say about this?
This whole show, when I heard it went down the way it went down, chaps my fucking ass. Like, I have never wanted to be more wrong on anything ever than I was last fucking week on Aftershock and last week on the Jay Hebert side of things. And all that fucking showed me was that it was fucking proven right! What the fuck is wrong with you, you old scumbag? You guys are probably handling this better than I fucking can, because I'm just sick and tired of being sick and tired at this point. Because it's better to laugh about this shit than, I guess, to cry and whatever. But, like, dude, this chaps my ass. You have... And by the way, for those who are going to be fucking, hoping that this is the one and only time because it just happened to be the day of the fucking... They're trying to get the sale done. And so Vince is trying to look good in front of his new business buddy from fucking Endeavor that also looks like a fucking... mad shithouse. I don't even remember his fucking name. Don't be surprised if this isn't the only time this happens and there's a fucking internal struggle every fucking major show they do going forward. Guarantee you that's what's gonna happen now. If this fucking week was any indication, it's gonna fucking happen more often than we want to fucking believe. And that's fucking terrible.
Yeah, I agree with that. Like,
I hate this, man. I did not want to be right. I really didn't.
Yeah, SmackDown was at least more of a Triple H show. But yeah, this is, it's worrying because, backstage Morel...
It doesn't even matter. Even if it is a Triple H show, none of that matters now. Even if Triple H books a handful of shows leading up to the fucking pay-per-view, it's not gonna fucking matter, because this week proved it's all gonna be undone by Vince.
But does it, though?
I think it will.
Just because it happened one time doesn't mean it's going to happen all the time.
Oh,
especially
now we've seen it happen more than one time. We've seen it happen with fucking Heyman. We've seen it happen with Bischoff. We lived through this, Chris. He fired both of them.
Is he firing Triple H?
Not yet.
It's his fucking son-in-law. He's not going to fire him. Don't be that dense.
I'm dense? I'm not being dense when I've been through this. He fired his own son last year. Need we forget?
Not firing Triple H.
He fucking sure as hell almost did.
But he's not, though.
Not yet.
He's not going to.
We'll see.
We won't, because it's not happening.
I'm not saying... even if he doesn't fire him...
Let's be realistic, please.
That's fine, but even if he doesn't fire him, that's like worst case scenario. And you're probably right. He probably won't, at least initially. He might not ever. He'll still undermine everything he's doing come the big shows. SummerSlam, Survivor Series, Rumble, Mania especially. And those are the shows that people are going to pay the most fucking attention to.
I mean, this is a show that everyone paid attention to.
It was the most fucking successful WrestleMania they're touting. Ever. Right? Questionable booking from night 2 aside, which we know was by Hunter, whatever, fine. It's getting... Cody looked like a fucking idiot. He looked like a fucking moron. He looked like Sting trusting Ric Flair over and over again. And kept getting backstabbed. Like, even if Brock is Cowboy Brock, why would you trust Lesnar? Why would that even be a concept in his brain? It just made Cody look like a... Why is he here? Like, why is he in the main event now? He just got jobbed out by Lesnar for hours just so that way Vince could stall for time to rewrite the show at the last minute. I'm telling you, get used to this. It sucks. I don't want to be right on this, but he's already proven it with the show this week. He's going to interject when he feels he wants something done a certain way, and that's going to happen more and more often.
Backstage morale.
And he's got backstage morale. Go ahead.
Backstage morale went down, like, because everyone was upset. Vince came in and just ruined the whole show that Triple H had planned out. Like,
yeah.
It was bad. Like, there was reports that people are talking about their options with after their contracts are up and all that type of stuff. Like, that's how bad this law was.
It's fucking awful. And not to mention, by the way, Endeavor was the last company minus Saudi. Don't even get me started on that. But it was the last thing that anybody would want, and nobody even realizes it. This is the same company that when they bought the UFC, they fucking forced them to wear Reebok, which caused a bunch of people to leave for the exact fucking reason that everybody's fearing in WWE now. Budget cuts and all sorts to try to save money and not make money.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they're fucking fearing here.
All
And
that
I think that's
talent,
why we're hearing that now. Because it's fucking Endeavor. They proved it with the fucking fighters in UFC. That's why half of them fucking left.
all that talent that Triple H brought back, that, you know, like the Mia Yims, like carrying crosses and all that, they could just be gone again.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And
that's gonna fuck up a lot of fucking plans for Triple H. A shit ton of plans.
Worst part about this, why we haven't seen anybody new sign with WWE.
Yep, hiring freeze.
Yep, because which makes sense, you know, when you merge companies, there's always a hiring freeze. But it's terrible. This was like the worst possible time for a hiring freeze. Everybody wanted to see people show up after, like Jay White possibly could have gone to WWE, but then they had a hiring freeze.
Brian Cage. FTR.
Yeah, Brian Cage.
Yep.
Well, I think FTR was gonna. I feel like FTR was
probably, but there was still that possibility, and then that went out the fucking window quick. And
a lot of people probably aren't gonna sign now that they hear Vince is at least doing stuff actively. Like they hear Vince is a part of it at all.
It is the fact that he is there at all is a problem. It is. I think that stops, and that shows and rears its ugly head here.
Mm-hmm.
Big time.
Yeah, this is just...
nobody's looking at this in a good light. Go ahead, sorry.
This is just a terrible, like... I expected... Like, maybe that's what, like... I think Drew will resign just because Vince likes him enough anyways, but maybe, maybe this is why Drew is having second thoughts about his, resign it anyways. Like, this is... Because they haven't done much with him since... He lost the title the second time.
Right.
And maybe this is why Drew has second thoughts about re-signing.
Right, yeah.
And this is why, too, they can't start NXT. They've been talking about they were going to start NXT Europe. They haven't been able to start NXT Europe because Vince was going to sell the company. And there's a hiring freeze anyway, so they can't even sign any talent for NXT Europe.
It is problematic because... anything that Triple H had future plans for, like, and I want to blame it all on Vince because Vince came in and took it, but in reality, I can't even just blame Vince. It really wasn't even Vince's choice. It was Vince's choice for being impatient on the fucking thing and just waiting for a better fucking deal to come by where he wasn't the guy in charge, but... when the guy kept fucking begging him, he eventually just couldn't fucking let well enough alone, and he had to fucking jump in and get that sale now when it was ready to go.
I don't think it was just... I don't think...
that was the fucking reason, though. Like, he got high... He's only back because what's-his-face from Endeavor, the president of Endeavor, begged him to come in. That's the only reason he's here.
I don't think, though, it was just Vince being impatient to sign. I think he saw that everybody was going to make more money, especially him, and he got greedy a little bit, and also Chelsea. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I think he got a little greedy.
Yeah, that too.
I mean, maybe it was a little bit impatient, but I think him seeing how much more money he was going to make, I think also led him to, taking the deal.
I am very fucking... I'm very done for a reason. And it's because I'm tired of having the anxiety of not knowing what the hell's going to happen with this company. And it's shit like this that makes me worried. Whether the worries are legitimate or not or whatever. But it's like, shit like this, I get where the wrestlers are coming from. Why they wouldn't sign right away when you got Vince already confirmed on screen on a business meeting interview on CNBC... that he is back as chairman of the fucking board.
Well, hasn't he been back? He's been behind the back for a while, though. Anyways, though,
right?
Like, obviously, he was chairman of the board, but he wasn't doing anything. He was just in charge of the sale originally. Because I think he had to come back as chairman of the board because Stephanie McMahon took a leave of absence, so they needed somebody to fill that role.
So,
But I don't think he wasn't doing as much though. I think Triple H was still like doing everything for the most part. Like obviously, like I think Triple H was just. I think Vince was just doing the sale pretty much. He wasn't.
Except for when he needed to look good for his sale associate, then he rebooked the fucking show at last minute. Like
which made him look bad.
Which made him look bad, but I'm sure not to the fucking guy who the president of Endeavor, because he doesn't give a shit. All he knows is that it's been making money, hand over fist. So he doesn't give a fuck what the creative is.
And you know what? He's not even going to look at the show probably. The worst part, the Raw still did a really good rating because it's the Raw after WrestleMania. Everybody was interested in it. So that's what he's probably going to like. Oh, the Raw still did really well on the rating, so Vince did something right. That's probably the worst part about it too.
Exactly the problem.
Yeah, people are going to tune in regardless because it's the Raw after Mania. It's the biggest. It's the supposed biggest Raw of the year. It's going to draw the biggest rating.
Yeah,
I don't think Endeavor. I don't know if Endeavor knew that though. I think Endeavor was going to think what Vince did was successful.
It's very sad that we're at this point because in reality, this motherfucker should not even be back for not even just creative. This fucking like. I was more than willing to be like, okay, yeah, Hall of Fame induction, he made the company fine, even with the shitty shit he's done within said company from a humanitarian standpoint. But he shouldn't be back running day-to-day operations after the shit he's been accused of that he has not even been acquitted for yet, by the way. There's still a bunch of cases he hasn't even settled yet.
Mm-hmm.
And he's fucking back in the chair. Are you kidding me? Yeah, people have a right to be fucking worried. If I was a fucking wrestler in that company or in the industry, I'd be too. I'd be shitting bricks.
Especially if they hear the fact that there could be cuts. Not just a wrestler, but like, I get why they have to do the cuts because this. Yeah, but I get why they have to do the cuts because there's some people that work for Endeavor that can just do the job that the people. Because I'm pretty sure it's like some complicated business reason that I can't even say, but it's like some people have the same job anyways for Endeavor that they have for the WWE. So why hire more people doing that than before? I guess, but like it just sucks. A lot of people have to lose their jobs because of this. They don't need to because the company's making more money now anyways. So.
And the worst part of this is too, if this Endeavor sale goes as far as I think it's gonna go, guess what that fucking means? Hello, pay-per-view price again.
That's
another thing that I don't think anybody realizes that could potentially happen. They could go right to ESPN Plus, which is exactly what killed the UFC's fucking business revenue. Especially in pay-per-view buys, which they were doing great in before.
Chris and I talked about it, I think, a little bit. I don't think it would happen right away just because they still have the
obviously
Peacock
not.
deal.
No. Yeah, they have like a long-standing Peacock deal, but you know... the guy from Endeavor, the president of Endeavor, is going to be pushing for that eventually after that deal is up. That's the thing.
However, there is something that we can worry about. I thought about this the other day. They could do something where, and the guy from the president of Endeavor could buy out that contract and get it on. I don't know if it could. I don't know if this can happen or not. I don't know about that stuff. I'm just guessing here.
Right? Yeah.
You could buy out that deal so that way it goes onto the ESPN Plus streaming service like sooner type of thing.
Yep. That's another problem as well. I didn't even think of that. If that can happen, that's bad. Like, and then again, it's like, this is worrying for anybody that's in that industry and anybody that's a fan of this industry to the point you got fucking YouTubers who is literally watching as a fan for the first time in years. He's talking about the shit on his YouTube channel now and breaking it down and why this could potentially be disastrous.
The one good thing, I guess, I think a lot of people are happy about is I guess WWE would stop going to Saudi because I'm pretty sure Endeavor pulled that deal. I think it was UFC was doing this deal with Saudi, and they pulled that deal. But to be honest, I know I can't believe I'm actually saying. Well, no, I actually can't believe I'm saying this. I haven't hated the Saudi deal for a while just because I don't think it's fair for the fans that are like genuine wrestling fans in Saudi that wouldn't get wrestling. Like I think
it's the government that's the problem, not the actual people within the country. Yeah.
Like it got like I know a lot of people probably crap on his gimmick now, but like it got Mansoor out of that country. It got Mansoor, whatever his name is, out of that. And we got to see a great talent out of that country. Like,
Yeah.
I would feel bad for the fans because it's not like it's easy for them to go see a wrestling show now, anyways, because they have to travel all this ways and all that type of stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
And lately, the Saudi shows have been kind of ruling as of late. Like, it's not like a money grab.
Well,
anymore.
yeah, but
The
that's again, all the shows have been, and then Vince came back, and now it's a worrying prospect. Just the fact that if he wants to pull that trump card of I have final say, fuck you, Hunter. The fact that he can, that's a problem.
Especially to
and fuck me, like. Look at Cody now. Look at what the fuck they did to poor Cody. They massacred our boy right in front of our fucking eyes for way too fucking long, as Chris said. Like, I don't even know how fucking long. It felt like it lasted an eternity. It sucks. It really comes down to it. And back to my original point, I could blame fucking Vince and everything, but in reality, I gotta put the blame on Triple H too. He knew this was probably gonna happen. Why he didn't put the fucking belt on Cody in preparation for Vince coming back is mind-blowing to me now. That's fucking insane.
Especially because too, I talked about it too, because the sale was reported. It wasn't official or anything, but the sale was reported earlier in the day. Yeah, he had a story, but he should have just said, "Fuck that."
He needed to call the audible, knowing what the fuck was about to happen.
Especially with how over Cody was. I still don't. I mean,
like if Vince wasn't gonna come back, and he wanted to wait a year to give him that moment in Philly, land of the free, whatever, and he's the American Nightmare, okay. Still a bitter pill to swallow, but cool. With Vince in charge and Endeavor coming in and fucking all sorts of shit up, you now have a power struggle between Vince McMahon, Nick Khan, and I don't even remember the third guy's name, the president of Endeavor, all having this fucking power now. Who the hell is to say that that's even going to last?
Yeah.
This is the exact problem that Bischoff had when he was running WCW. The only difference is they're not trying to cancel the show. They're just trying to run it in their own image.
I mean, I just talked about this right when the Block thing went down and stuff. Everyone thinks Cody could very well beat Block in the Redemption thing. With Endeavor running things, if the UFC and WWE merge, they may not want to have Block lose to Cody. They may think it may Block, like they could call. They may want to have Block win.
Yep, and that's gonna make him look even worse.
Yeah, and I even say like Cody can't. They could say, well, they could do a finish that Cody barely beat. No, Cody has a full-on beat Block clean. There's no bullshit about this. Like it has to. Like if Cody does not beat Block in the center of that win with a crossroads, He needs to win clean. Like no bullshit, no roll ups, no DQ. He needs to win clean.
Yeah, I agree. And
anyhow, that's
now we're questioning if it will even happen, which is half the fucking problem. This is why shouldn't even be in.
That's everything we have to say about Raw. Let's do a letter grade. Chris, what would you give Raw from last week as a letter grade?
F.
Yeah, this is a terrible. It's probably like a D- show, because the Bad Bunny thing was good. However, this Raw was so bad; it got such bad publicity. There's no choice but to give it an F. Like it hurt WWE like for a week. Everybody, it's one thing to have a bad Raw, but if you have a Raw that's so bad that it brings talent morale down, and it's like talked about for like over a week. That's when you did something wrong. So this is an F show. This show was terrible. The only thing I can recommend going back and watching is probably the Bad Bunny and the Sami Zayn match and stuff. But everything on this show had a problem. Everything. Like there wasn't one thing that like didn't have me scratching my head. But And like I said, this is the Raw after WrestleMania. This is a show Chris and I were looking forward to all year, and we got nothing out of it.
The Raw before Mania was like infinitely better than this.
Mm-hmm.
But
let's
before you continue, I have a question that I just want to add. I understand the idea that he wouldn't fire him. Like, I get that logic of why he wouldn't. But can we also see my point in that this fucking guy has fired his own son, he's fired Eric Bischoff, he's fired fucking Paul Heyman multiple times for the same exact reason, which is they would not fall in line with his creative ideas? Can we agree on that for the most part?
I can see, to be honest, I don't necessarily see it, but I can see why you would think that because,
yeah, that's all.
Because how badly with Shane screwed up the Royal Rumble. We talked about it. Everybody shat on Shane for it and stuff, but Vince, I think, fired Shane because Vince fucked up the Rumble so bad. They could I think if Triple H made a bad decision, I don't think he would fire him, but he would send Triple H home and say, "Let me take the reins and show you how it's done."
Motherfucker took it on the chin night 2 of Mania in the press conference.
Yeah,
he wasn't hiding from the people. You know, he tried to excuse it. He tried to explain what his plan was, but he didn't fucking hide. He didn't try to fucking send the lambs to slaughter there. He fucking took it on the chin like a man.
Yeah.
You know, it's fuck. It's, you know, that's, again, I understand, Chris, you use dense. I can't be that dense if people can at least see my fucking point. And why that would be worrying.
James, I apologize. That was a little bit too harsh.
No, I get it, man. Like, it's, I get it, brother. Like, it's, I was probably a bit overzealous as well, but it sucks, because, like, I was looking forward to watching some of the stuff, like, maybe not every week, but, like, tune into the fucking pay-per-views, and now I'm, like, completely out and did a 180. And it's shit like this, why? Because I don't want to have to question... I don't want to fucking go into a show and question, is Vince going to fucking take over again, or is Triple H going to run this entire show? I don't want to have to second guess that.
They've talked about before, too, because that was the big thing about SmackDown this week, I think a lot of people were feeling, and it said, you know, that Vince isn't running at Triple H's backstage, Vince is doing things virtually and stuff like that, but to be honest, I honestly couldn't believe it until I saw the show because of how shitty because honestly, Vince could still change things virtually. I think that people don't think that. Like, Vince could say, get rid of that, that's done, goodbye.
All it takes is a Google Doc or a Word document on Microsoft OneDrive. That's all it takes.
Yeah.
All it takes is a simple email from his email straight to fucking Triple H or whoever the fuck is behind that booth.
Yep.
That's it.
So, we'll see. But let's move on from Raw. Let's focus on NXT.
Enjoy.
You'll be surprised, James. I'll just tell you this: for once, NXT is actually the best show of the week. You wouldn't believe it.
I believe it. I will say anything would have been better than the fucking shitty week that was main roster.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just be upfront with that right now. NXT could have had the fucking worst show in entire history, even over fucking Skittles brand, and it still would have been better than Raw and SmackDown this week. Aaron fucking teed.
Well, let's go through NXT.
God damn it. Hold on. Wait a minute. Oh, there we go. You're good. we got out of
NXT.
We were booted off the air for like a split second, but we're good now.
Good catch. NXT took place on April 4th, 2023. We had the commentary team Booker T and Vic Joseph. I'll be honest, I think I told you about this, Chris. I really was debating on watching NXT just because how shitty Raw was. I was also tired too because we had been watching consistent wrestling shows for 5 days at that point, even longer than that with retros. I think I just decided to watch it because I had nothing to watch anyways that day. I was thinking about just playing 2K23, Is it 20? It's 23, right?
Yeah.
But I didn't really feel like doing showcase mode and being pissed. And I was already pissed enough as it was anyway. So I'm like, I'm just gonna watch NXT. I'm glad I made the decision to because it ended up being a hell of a show. But let's go through it. We have the commentary team of Booker T and Vic Joseph. Andy Harwell comes out to cut a promo, and it's a hell of a promo. They were back in the Performance Center this week. Do they call it the Performance Center? I know they haven't called it the Capitol Wrestling Center.
They called the CWC.
Okay. I know they haven't in a bit, though, so... But yeah, Indy Harwell comes out and she cuts this really good promo talking about how she was so happy she finally won the NXT Women's Championship. She essentially says that like she didn't know what she was gonna say because she actually never thought that it was gonna happen. She basically says that after week of all of the trials and tribulations and all that stuff, basically being the NXT jobber, that that she never thought was going to happen, but she's finally happy it happened, and she said that she wants to be a fighting champion. She said that she calls out Roxanne Perez and says that she's going to give her the first rematch since she didn't really beat her for the belt. She won it in a ladder match. Instead, Zoe Stark comes out. Originally, I thought, okay, this makes sense because Zoe Stark beat her in the qualifying match to get to the ladder match, but then I'm like, wait a minute. No, she didn't. It wasn't Zoe Stark that beat it. It was Tiffany Stratton. I'm like, oh. But Zoe Stark comes out. She talks about how she's the standard bearer of NXT. She's the face of the women's division. And she says that Indy Harwell's a joke champion, a paper champion, and challenges her to a title match tonight. And Indy Harwell accepts. I did like this segment here. The only thing I didn't like about it is I thought it was way too random for Zoe Stark to be like the first opponent for the belt. It probably should have been Tiffany Stratton since she, would have more of a claim to it, but maybe Tiffany Stratton couldn't wrestle since she took that bad bump at Stand and Deliver, so they just threw Zoe Stark in there instead. But I like the segment overall. I liked Indy Harwell. I thought she was very genuine out there. What did you think of it?
I liked it. I like seeing Indy get the spotlight, but yeah, the Zoe Stark inclusion I thought was weird at the time, still do.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't mind it.
Then we had Wesley get interviewed. He was talking about winning the Fatal 5-Way at Stand and Deliver, and Action was like standing right behind him, and he wants a title match, and Wesley gives him a title match, and that was basically the main event match of NXT, which was awesome. And I think you and I said, unless Wesley and I almost said Dragon Lee, but Wesley and Axiom have a bad night, that match alone is going to make Raw a better show, and Boy, did the show start to get better after that. But I like this segment here. I thought it set up a title match. And, it wasn't like it was a random title match because they've been building to this match for a while. So what did you think of this?
I loved it. I love the match.
Then we had the family versus Pretty Deadly. This match was okay. Eventually the buckle gets exposed, and I think it's Tony D goes into it, and he gets rolled up by one of the Pretty Deadly members. The match itself was okay. The finish was really bad. I don't get why they gave the victory to Pretty Deadly, but this is Shawn Michaels' favorite thing. He's going to break up the family now as a tag team, which doesn't really make sense, but yeah.
Bound to happen.
Yeah, what did you think of this?
I thought the match was fine, and I didn't like the finish.
And then JC Jane cut the promo talking about how she basically waited for the right moment where Gigi Dolan was going to win the championship, and she basically was going to be the thing that ruined her dreams. It was a decent promo. It makes it kind of funny because what if Gigi Dolan never got close? She basically would have made the trip all the way to freaking Los Angeles for nothing, just for Gigi Dolan never to. Yeah, it would have been absolute nothing. I guess, but. They're setting up a rematch here. If she was just going to come back, why wasn't she just in the ladder match? Because she clearly was never hurt, I don't think. I think that was just a storyline. But they're probably going to do a no DQ match or something. I feel like they should have just moved on from this feud. Just because there's no heat on it now since JC Jane's been off TV for a few weeks. But hey, it's better than anything that happened on Raw. So I took it as a victory right there.
Yeah.
There you go. Then the show just rules from this point. We had Dijak versus Odyssey Jones. This match was really good. It was basically like a lame version of the Keith Lee Dijak matches. Because obviously Odyssey Jones isn't Keith Lee, but this was still like really good. It was a really good big man match here. They really made Odyssey Jones look like a star in this match. Eventually, Dijak wins with Feast Your Eyes, but he actually doesn't win with Feast Your Eyes. He wins with a moonsault because I don't think he could pick him up for the Feast Your Eyes. But this was really good stuff here. I thought obviously Dijak needed to get the win because he's suffered a lot of big losses lately. But I feel like Odyssey Jones looked really good in defeat. I thought this was really good. It really surprised me too because you never really see Odyssey Jones have much matches, and this was just really good stuff here. What did you think?
I thought this match was really, really good. It's like you said, it's like a Keith Lee Dijak type of feud. I hope it goes on. Odyssey looked great in defeat, and I loved it.
Then we had a really cool video package for Dragon Lee. I thought it was really cool. Then it shows Carmelo Hayes arriving with this championship. Then Gallus get interviewed. They basically say that they're ready to dominate NXT. And I almost said Joe Gacy, but Joe Coffey says that he says that he has some eyes. My favorite. But yeah, Joe Coffey says that he has his eyes on some singles gold. So that's probably going to mean North American Championship, which would be good. What'd you think of all this stuff here? The Dragon Lee video package, Carmelo Hayes arriving to the building, and Gallus getting interviewed.
I liked pretty much all of it. The A Champ arrived. I like that. I love the Dragon Lee video package. Yeah, I liked all of it.
Then we had a match that really wooed. It was Nathan Frazier versus Dragon Lee. This match was awesome. I love Dragon Lee's entrance. I think it's really good. I love his theme song. It's really good. This match was just great. Before the match even happens, Noam Dar shows up through the crowd, and he comes out with the NXT UK Heritage Cup, and he gets on the mic and talks about how he's had this cup for a while, and he said that he's not going to defend it against anybody. He wants to defend it against athletes that he finds suitable to defend against. So he said he's going to watch this match, and we had the match. It's a great match, really great back and forth stuff. Eventually, Dragon Lee wins, but it was great stuff. It was awesome. I loved it, and we got a great return here because we hadn't seen Noam Dar since NXT UK, and I like the fact that the Heritage Cup is going to get used because I don't love the Heritage Cup like matches. I feel like we'll talk about them. We never really talked about them before, but I like the fact that they at least put it in like a new thing because I feel like there's a lot of talent in NXT that could use another thing to fight over. So I liked this a lot. What do you think?
I love the match. I thought the match was great. In our private chat, I was like, "Oh my god, it's fucking, it's Noam Dar."
Yeah, I thought at first it was a fan jump though.
Forever.
Yeah,
and I was like, "Wow, okay."
Yeah,
maybe he was in 2K23 for a reason. Maybe they spoiled his return.
Yeah. Well, they did spoil Commander Aziz's return though. So. Or was he already back by that point?
He was already back.
But I think they announced him like for the game, like before he came back though. So.
Yeah, he was Commander Aziz before. It was stupid.
Yeah.
But yeah, like having Noam Dar back. We haven't seen him in fucking ages.
Yeah.
And he brought the Heritage Cup with him. I love it. I it's not everyone's style. I get it's like a rounds type of match. It goes back to old school British wrestling. But yeah, like the match was great, and seeing Noam Dar was really cool. He got a huge pop.
Yeah, he did.
For being a fucking heel, he got a massive pop. I love it. I thought the whole thing was really good.
They can't put him back because of the hiring freeze, but I would love it. I don't know if you know about this because I know you didn't watch NXT UK, but he had like a manager with him. He was like a coach to him or something. I forget his name off the top of my head, but I hope they could. I would like for that guy to come back, but because they're on a hiring freeze, because he was released when NXT UK folded, they can't.
Shaw Samuels.
Yeah, that was it.
Just longtime friend in real life.
I would like him to bring that guy back, but he can't come back because of the hiring freeze, though, unfortunately. So, well, this hiring freeze really sucks, because but as you know, Matt Cardona's not coming in anytime soon, so. Let's hope. I hope they did sign him before the hiring freeze, but we'll see. But anyhow, yeah, I liked the match, and I guess we'll go back to the rules. You haven't talked about them. I like the concept. I just wish the round. I think the rounds being short is really what hurts the rules for me. Because anytime the match gets good, the round like ends like randomly. So if the rounds were longer, I think I'd like the Heritage Cup rules better. So, but next, Chase, you have a segment. They're really happy they beat Schism. And everyone's happy about it. They actually congratulate Tyler Bate for like stepping in, who wasn't even there. And Duke Hudson gets pissed about this because it was his plan that caused him to beat Schism, and he wants like a trophy or like a reward, like Thea Hale got when she won her match. And Andre Chase agrees to it, and he cuts this really motivational speech afterwards and stuff. And you and I posted in the chat instantly. The JCU's breaking up next week.
If there was ever a time to break up JCU, if there's ever a time to break up JCU, this is it.
Yeah. If they don't break up, I have hope they're gonna stay together. But I think next week's the week that they were probably gonna break up at Stand and Deliver, but they couldn't really have Schism win, obviously, in hindsight, because Gibson and Drake asked for their releases. So I think
they didn't get them yet either. So no one even I don't even know if they asked for their release.
Well, I'm just saying, like,
level up.
That's true. Yeah, but
no one knows.
Yeah, but yeah, they're gonna break up. They're gonna break up Chase U, which sucks. But we'll talk about that when we do predictions for this week. But I liked this segment here. I thought Duke Hudson was really great. I like the people like in the class. I feel like the people in the classes are always different too, which I think it makes, which is just funny. Like, because the class is supposed to go on like the whole semester, and there are always different people in there. I think that's hilarious. Like, it's great. I feel like too, there's one guy, like the black guy that's like right next to Duke Hudson. I think he's always been there the whole time. And
yeah,
I think it's funny too, because that's the guy that Duke Hudson like always talks to, and he always messes around with and stuff. Like, I don't know if you remember, like when they did like the holiday gifts, I think he like took his gift and stuff. I always love that that's the guy that Duke Hudson picks on. I want him to become like if Duke Hudson does turn, I want like Duke Hudson to like challenge that guy to a match or something.
What if they don't? What if he challenges another random dude to a match?
What if he challenges Thea Hale to a match? So
Thea Hale would win in a squash.
Is Thea Hale the only woman that's signed in? I think that's in the classes. I don't think I've ever seen another woman in there. I think it's just like Duke Hudson. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, technically, one of the people was thrown out of the school pretty much because, which was really sad. Isn't that sad that the one and he has not been mentioned? I don't know if he was thrown out. He just stopped showing up. He just stopped showing up to class. I don't know what happened to him. He just stopped showing up. Like,
poor guy.
But yeah, next, Isla Dawn and Kaylee Ray have like a creepy promo talking about how they're gonna put curses on all the tag teams in NXT. But there's no tag teams to put curses on though. They keep breaking up. I don't know. Maybe that's maybe that's why all the teams keep breaking up, because Kaylee Ray and Isla Dawn are cursing them all. Or is it Shawn? Yeah. Do you think it's Shawn Michaels that's doing the cursing? I don't know who's doing it. Like,
it's yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. What do you think of the promo though? I thought it was good.
Yeah, I thought it was good.
Then Wes Lee gets interviewed. He just talks about how he's going to defend his North American title against Axiom, and Mackenzie Mitchell says he's crazy for wanting to defend his title after that fatal 5-way match. But I feel like Mackenzie Mitchell sort of expected that, because Wes Lee's a crazy guy like that.
He is fucking insane.
What did you think of him?
He's insane.
They high-fived afterwards, which was good. I guess that's a good thing. She never high-fived Nash Carter. I don't know why, but she never did.
It's mean.
They only started high-fiving each other when it was just like him doing the interviews, not Nash Carter. They never, there was no high-fives going on when he was doing the interviews with them. So, I don't know. What do you think of this?
It's interesting.
Then we had the NXT Women's Championship match. It was Zoe Stark versus Indy Hartwell, who was defending the championship. This was really good. I really liked this match a lot. Zoe Stark looked like she had the match won. But Indy Hartwell turned it into a roll-up, and she got like a lucky win. I liked this. It made sense with the way Indy Hartwell won. I really enjoyed it. And afterwards, she celebrates with the championship. Tiffany Stratton is standing on the stage and wants to go for the championship. and then she gets attacked from behind by Cora Jade, who returns here. And she gets laid out with a double arm DDT, I think, onto the championship. And I was thinking, like, this was already a bigger return than any return that happened on Raw the previous night. So, I liked this. Afterwards, Tiffany Stratton and Cora Jade are fighting over who's going to face Indy Hartwell for the championship. But I liked this, and I thought it was a good way to bring back Cora Jade. What did you? I would have preferred. I think I said it, that she would have come back as a baby face here, because I think the heel one's not working. But other than that, I still thought it was a good return. What did you think?
I like it. Face is better, but yeah.
Then Kiana James and Brooks Jensen have a backstage segment. This was bad. This is probably the worst thing of the show. Funny thing is, we could say this was the worst thing of the show. It wasn't the worst segment all week, though, for once, because Vince made sure that Shawn Michaels' booking looked good this week. Because at least it's leading to something. Nothing Vince booked on Raw this week led to anything.
Shawn Michaels is like, I can't have a bad fucking show after Raw.
I wonder if Shawn Michaels was like,
actually put together a good show.
I wonder if Shawn Michaels was like, phew, I got no stress this week. I can actually relax this week. No one's gonna crap on my show. And he like accidentally booked like the best show of the week. Like it's like, okay, I gotta make sure I don't look worse than Vince. Axiom, come over here. Nathan, no, I'm down. I need you to come back over here. Like he's just like, wow, I gotta do something good here. But yeah, so Brooks just apologizing to Kiana James for not helping her cheat, and Fallon Henley and Briggs come up, and they call out Kiana James for trying to cheat, and Fallon Henley finally admits that Kiana James has cheated on Brooks Jensen, and Kiana James fully admits it right in front of him. There was no going around it this time, but then she said, but then we kissed, and I felt something there, but we were never really exclusive. So that's why I was seeing all these other guys and stuff, my real life husband and all that type of stuff. And she walks off. And then Brooks Jensen doesn't get mad at the person that cheated on him. He gets mad at freaking Briggs and Fallon Henley for interfering in his business. Like, what the hell are you getting mad at them for? Like, and then they leave. I don't know how it happened, but somehow they mentioned there's like a tag title rematch coming up next week between Fallon Henley and Kiana James versus Isla Dawn and Kaylee Ray. I'm like, yeah, that match was so good at NXT Stand and Deliver. Let's run that match back. Not Johnny Gargano versus Great Well. I guess that match isn't good enough to do twice. But yeah, this segment was terrible. However, it wasn't the worst segment of the week. At least it's leading to something. And that's more than I can say with anything Vince booked on Raw the previous night. At least it's going somewhere. What did you think?
Yeah, it's going somewhere at least. I'll take that.
We actually defended. We actually gave some positive to the Fallon Henley Kiana. That's the damage that Vince did on Raw. We actually had to say
broken me.
We actually had to say something positive about that storyline. That's how badly Vince. Let's be honest. This was better. At least the segment wasn't cut for time. And Vince freaking cut Seth Rollins' segment.
Yeah.
Sorry, Seth. Yeah. Then this is where we got the news that Butch Miller passed away. It was obviously out there for a while. I believe I've shared it in the chat. DDP shared something about it during Raw. Really sad. Do we know what he passed? Was he just old, or did he have like a?
He had a health issue.
Okay, so it's really sad. They didn't show any clips or anything like that. They just showed his picture and it said like "Rest in peace." Yeah, really sad. What did you think of this?
Yeah, it's sad. I mean, him and the Bushwhackers were gonna tour the United States, I think, or something like that. They had planned this for a while, because they hadn't been together in forever since pre-pandemic. So this is kind of a way for them to do. They were gonna do like a tour. So
yeah,
but yeah, they were doing like WrestleCon, and then he passed away before they could do anything.
Sad. Then we had Ivy Nile versus Tatum Paxley. This match, I mean, least had a few behind it. We never got the explanation why Tatum Paxley turned on Ivy Nile, which is a random turn. Vic Joseph said she explained it on social media, but I checked her social media. There's no explanation of it. I think he made it up. He lied. So, yeah, this match was good. It just didn't understand the point of it. Ivy Nile won, and yeah, now we have there was no reason to break up this tag team. They just did it randomly. But you know what? This match was better than most things that happened on Raw, so that's a plus.
Like I said in the chat, we'll see her on the NXT house show loop for eternity.
She should just team up with what's his name, the guy that turned on Diamond Mine like all that time ago, and you haven't seen him in a while.
Damon Kemp.
Yeah, she should. That just shows you right there how much they screwed him up. I couldn't even think of his name. She should just show up with him and they should just be like, they should enter Mixed Match Challenge and lose every match in Mixed Match Challenge, because that's
they should enter the Mixed Match Challenge of the NXT house show loop. And never be seen from again.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Purgatory.
Then Ilya Dragunov gets interviewed. He talks about failing to win the North American Championship at Stand and Deliver. And then Von Wagner comes up, and I think at one point Ilya Dragunov said he was the most intense force in NXT, and Von Wagner thought otherwise and challenged him to a match. And Mr. Stone, not Robert Stone, that guy doesn't exist anymore. It's just Mr. Stone now. Comes up and tries to talk him out of it, and he's unable to. So Mr. Stone said he'll go ask for the match to get official, but if Von Wagner doesn't win, Mr. Stone's going to leave NXT. So a lot of pressure there for Von Wagner. So this segment was fine. I'm really excited because, if Mr. Stone leaves NXT, that means no more Von Wagner. So I'm really excited for no more Von Wagner. What did you think of this?
I'm excited for no more Von Wagner.
There you go. Then we had an awesome NXT North American Championship match. It was Axiom versus Wesley, who was defending the belt. This match ruled. It was great. Absolutely loved it. Eventually, Wesley got the win, but this match is absolutely ruled. Just go watch it for yourself. It was that good. What did you think?
Thought this match was fantastic. Go watch it for yourself. I don't need to fucking say anything. Just watch it.
Afterwards, they shake hands. Scripps comes on the Titantron / not the Thunderdome, but all the screens around the Performance Center. And he's cutting this weird promo on Axiom. And he's going to do a sneak attack. And I know you said the sneak attack was pointless, but it made me laugh because this sneak attack fails so hard. I don't even understand how this fails.
I know what you're doing. And then you're gonna come out from behind and then just get annihilated and then be forgotten about again.
This was hilarious. But Axiom says that he's going to expose Scripts. So I think
we know it's Reggie. There's no need to expose him. We know the fuck he is already.
The Axiom doesn't know who he is. So
they gotta take off he's gonna take off his mask and it's gonna be like, oh my god, it's Reggie. We're gonna be like, no shit.
Because we know because a lot of people think Axiom's a kid, but that's been proven that that's not the case because we've seen Tyler Bate and Axiom confirm that it's two different people. So
it is two different people.
They haven't been in the same room together yet. But I think if Axiom wins the North American title, he'll challenge A-Kid to a match.
They're gonna have a party together.
Yeah, we know Elias and Ezekiel do with different people. We saw them in the same room together. So, but yeah, it's
poor guy. He's still in a vegetative state.
Yeah, he is. With all the family members too. Are really sad for him. Elias has not recovered since then too. He's in a slump since then. He's been getting destroyed lately. So it's
his brother got murdered.
Yeah, and I think and Elias is almost there.
Elias is ready to call it quits.
Yeah, I think so. But anyhow, yeah,
his own life.
He's going what?
He's gonna end. They're gonna process Ezekiel for end of life.
Yeah, but yeah, this is I like the Axiom stuff. I think it's built into a mask versus mask match. Axiom will win and Scripps will get exposed. Hey, there's still a chance you could be Scripps, by the way. I like how you just immediately throw Reggie under the bus, but we still haven't seen you and Scripps in the same room together. And I find a coincidence. when you started watching NXT again, scripts kind of stopped showing up until this week. Like, I know you could say, well, I commented on it this week. That doesn't mean you're not scripts. That does not mean you're not scripts. So
Something that you'll never know.
well, unless they do the math, you better hope they don't do that math versus math match, or you're in freaking trouble.
Well, you wouldn't know.
Then Nathan Frazier gets interviewed. He cuts this really good promo talking about how like he's gonna come back from this win. It was really good. Just go watch this promo. It was really good. What do you think?
It's a good promo.
Yeah. I mean, what else do you want to say about it? Then they announced some people are coming to the NXT. I think it's Tank Ledger. I think one of them was Chikara Jackson, and there's somebody else that I'm forgetting. But I'm looking forward to see these people come to NXT. I think Tank Ledger is probably the one I'm looking forward to the most. But if I had to say which one I'm looking forward to the least, I guess it's like Chikara Jackson, because I don't think she's TV ready yet. I know you don't watch Level Up, so you wouldn't know that. But that's the one I'm looking forward to the least. But yeah, who intrigued you the most in this video package that you want to see on NXT?
None of them.
None of them, not one person.
Maybe Tank Ledger.
Maybe. Oh, that's a maybe though. It's a pretty big maybe right there. So, then we had the NXT Championship celebration. Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams come out and they celebrate the fact that he's the new NXT champion. And then they want to bring out Braun Breaker so he can congratulate them. And Braun Breaker talked about how he knew there was going to be a time where he was going to have to hand that championship off. And he said that he was happy that it was Carmelo Hayes that beat him. I would have wanted it to be Grayson Waller that beat him because he would have had to hand that championship to Grayson Waller, and that would have been money. No Grayson Waller on this show, by the way, because he was still selling the injuries of being beaten up by Johnny Gargano.
A pussy.
Poor guy. He got
What a pussy.
He couldn't even show up to work this week. Like he was that badly injured. But Braun Breaker and him show respect for each other. Carmelo Hayes, not Grayson Waller, because Grayson Waller wouldn't do that. And immediately, Braun Breaker nearly spears Carmelo Hayes out of his shoes, and he attacks Trick Williams, and he turns heel pretty much. Unfortunately, he didn't really know it was a heel turn because the PC crowd chanted when Braun Breaker did this. So it was very confusing. But I think it was meant to be a heel turn. And to be honest, it needed to happen because Braun Breaker needs a character change. His face run really didn't work anymore. And I think he could do some good things as a heel. He's got all the reasons to turn. And I really wish he would have turned sooner. That way it would have added some life to the NXT Stand and Deliver match between him and Carmelo Hayes. I wish they would. I get why they wanted to build to it. But I liked this. It was a big thing that happened. He's been a face for a while. And to be honest, I really don't think Carmelo Hayes could stay heel because nobody really likes Braun Breaker. Well, until he turned. Isn't that funny how that happened? He turned and everyone loved it. They loved it. It was So what a bunch of hypocrites the people in the PC were. So
fucking hypocrites. Hypocrites.
What did you think of this? I like this a lot.
I like it a lot. I think Braun turning needed to happen. Yeah, Melo's just too over. But yeah, I loved it.
So the crowd, they loved it too.
Yeah, they did apparently.
They loved it to the point where you didn't even know it was a heel turn until someone reported that it was. So I'm interested to see what he does as a heel. I would like to see him and Cora Jade be on screen together as heels if they were dating in real life, and now you can put them together because they're both heels now. Because that was always weird. That's why the Cora Jade as a heel didn't really work because her boyfriend was a heel. No, her boyfriend was a face. So it was weird, and it was like the face of NXT. So it was weird. But now they can both be heels together. I would actually like it if they put the belt back on Braun Breaker for like a month as a heel, and they have to do some of the come out. Like maybe that's how they get back together. But yeah, NXT was awesome this week. I'm gonna give the show, believe it or not, probably because Raw was so shit. I love this show so much. I'm gonna give the show like an A-. The show was fantastic. The only thing I really didn't like on this show was that tag match between the family and Pretty Deadly, and obviously the Kiana James Brooke Jensen segment, as I normally do. But every match was really great on this show, and it was a really good follow-up NXT to see a lot of big things happen. We had a lot of big returns and a big heel turn this week. That's more I could say about Raw the previous week. Like it felt like an actual NXT after WrestleMania type of show. What did you think?
I thought the show was really, really good. It was much better than Raw. It was my opinion, best show of the week.
Yeah. What's your letter grade?
A minus.
By the way, let's have that in the record books, by the way, because I don't think NXT is getting many A minuses this week. So, well, I said this week, but I mean this year, because obviously there's only one NXT episode a week. I can't unless they do like 4 this week. Let's cover main event real quick. According to my notes, it took place on March 29th, 2023. That's not right. It was April 4th, 2023.
Wow.
We had Byron Saxton and Kevin Patrick on commentary. We had Rick Boogs versus Cedric Alexander. Rick Boogs won, but Cedric was being very mean to Rick Boogs in this match. He wasn't being very nice to him, and I was very upset about it. So, I don't know why Cedric was so mean to Rick Boogs, but noticeably, there was no MVP this week with Cedric Alexander. So I wonder if that was a Vince change. So, because what a coincidence that the week Vince is there, MVP doesn't come out with them. So. Shelton did come out with them, but whatever. Then we had Bronson Reed versus Dexter Lumis. This match was good. Bronson Reed won with the tsunami, and I think Dexter Lumis might have died. I think he's dead. Basically, if you get hit with the tsunami, you're dead. That's like
You
dead
are
on
dead.
arrival.
Squash.
You have to get like reincarnated. NXT main event, I'll give like a C minus. It was pretty average. I feel like I was very like sour towards it because I was like thinking about like how shitty Raw was and like, oh, this took place the same night as Raw, so I wasn't in a good mood watching it. Good thing I'm not a teacher, by the way. Like my mood could really affect how you do like on a grade. Like imagine like you have this one test you really did, and I'm just in a bad, and you like need like a passing grade to like get into a good college, and I'm in a bad mood, and I give you like a D minus. I'm like, yeah, I just ruined someone's future right there. Like that could happen someday. You never know. My mood could really ruin someone's future.
It could.
Let's cover SmackDown. You saw SmackDown, correct?
Yeah.
The whole thing?
Most of it.
What'd you miss?
Most of it.
Come on, man. What you hear? You know you had a show coming up, and you don't even watch the whole show.
I know. I'm bad.
Vince wasn't even there. He wasn't even running the show.
I'm bad. I'm a bad boy.
But anyhow, we were very concerned going into SmackDown that Vince was going to be back running things, but this was largely a Triple H show. I'd say largely. I think the whole show pretty much was a Triple H show. Vince did not have his fingertips anywhere on this show, which was good. I don't know if I can say that on Raw, but I did make the joke over the week that they announced the draft on the show. I'll just say that now. That what if the draft is like a real thing and Triple H is running one show and Vince is running the other show? Vince is going to pick Raw to run. That's going to happen. He's going to pick that to run. But I think you said I would rather him run SmackDown because he'd have more pressure to book a good show. So, well, let's talk about SmackDown. The biggest thing that happened is Drew McIntyre was pulled from the show because he still hasn't signed a contract yet. So he just wasn't there. I think we talked about it. We both think that Drew's going to sign with the company again because he's pretty much a WWE lifer at this point. I feel like they're gonna be able to convince him to resign. I could see why he hasn't resigned, obviously, because he hasn't done much creatively since he lost the title. Yes, he had that main event match with Roman and stuff at Clash at the Castle, but he hasn't had like really many feuds. I'm pretty sure like he was like stuck in a feud forever with like Happy Corbin. Then they feud for like months and months and months. Like it was a while. So, and no one was happy about it except for Happy Corbin and Bad Cat Moss because he was a jokester at that time. So, but yeah, let's go through the show. It was commentated by Wade Barrett and Michael Cole. They did really good. I was very proud of them.
As you should be.
It kicked off with the Brawling Brutes versus Imperium. This match was awesome. It was a great match right here. Eventually, Sheamus got the win by pinning Fabian Eichner with the bro kick. It was great stuff here. I really enjoyed this match. Everybody looked good coming out of this match, and it was great. I loved it. What did you think? Hello? Uh-oh. I can't hear him.
What?
Oh, what did you think of the opening match on SmackDown?
I liked it.
It was great stuff. Then Paul Heyman's backstage, and he was asked if he could give any answers of why Brock Lesnar did what he did to Cody on Raw. But Paul Heyman said he didn't want to talk about that.
Of course he didn't.
He just wanted to talk about Roman Reigns and what he did at WrestleMania. He was with Solo, I believe, too. And Jey Uso comes up, and we knew that Sami and Jey were having a match later in the show. And Jey wants to know where his brother is because he wasn't sent there and wanted a game plan for the match. And Paul Heyman revealed that he had his brother, Roman Reigns gave his brother the night off. And he wants Jey Uso to prove himself to the bloodline and take out Sami Zayn and take out the Sami Zayn problem. But when Jey Uso walks away, Paul Heyman tells Solo Sikoa to that if Jey Uso doesn't take care of the Sami Zayn problem, I want you to handle the problem. But he's not specific about what the problem is. So that's a big that's definitely a proof that was a Triple H show right there. So
yep.
I love this segment right here. I was very scared for Jey Uso. I thought he was going to get hurt on this show. And again, Jey Uso, even though he was wearing clothes, he just looked so naked without his championships.
Looks fucking bizarre without them.
What did you think of this segment, though? I really liked it.
I liked it a lot, too. I thought it was really good.
Then we had Kevin Owens. No, we didn't have that segment next. It was Ricochet versus Ivar with Valhalla inside. None of their tag partners accompanied them inside because they were banned from inside, which wasn't very nice. But, I can understand Adam Pearce wanted to keep the match fair. But I don't know why Valhalla was allowed to be out there. But this match was really good. Eventually, Ricochet won with a 450. But I really liked this match a lot. I thought it was very good stuff. What did you think?
I liked it. I liked it a lot.
Then Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn are backstage. Kevin Owens is just staring at those tag team championships, like he's been staring at them all night. I don't know why he was staring at those championships. He must have loved them or something. Sami Zayn called him out on it, and he said that he just couldn't believe that they were tag team champions. And Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens tells Sami Zayn that he's excited that they can put the bloodline behind them after tonight. And Sami Zayn says, I feel like I got to have some closure here because it feels kind of weird that this is over now. And he wants to talk things over with Jey Uso this one time, final time. And Kevin Owens doesn't think that this is a good idea. And he tries to talk Sami Zayn out of it, but he fails to do so. So Sami Zayn goes to talk to him. I liked this segment a lot. I liked how everyone was acting here. And I liked how Kevin Owens was acting because Kevin Owens knew he wasn't going to be able to talk Sami Zayn out of it, but still tried to anyway. And he realized it was all for naught. What did you think of this?
Yeah, I liked it. It's good.
Then we had Raquel Rodriguez and Liv Morgan versus Natalya and Shotzi. Natalya and Shotzi cut one of those little video promos talking about how they should be the ones instead facing Becky Lynch and Lita for the tag titles. But they're going to prove that tonight by beating Raquel and Liv. But guess what? That didn't happen. They lost. They're a bunch of losers.
Fucking losers, baby.
Raquel and Liv won. Shotzi took the pin. And this match was very clunky. And I think you know why, Chris. You want to guess why this, unless you didn't see it, but you want to guess why this match was clunky and very awkward?
Let me guess. Some green-haired woman named Shotzi.
How'd you know?
I mean, just a wild guess.
Yeah. Because anytime Natalya was in there, it was fine. Anytime Shotzi was in there, it was not. But you can't say that, Chris, because she'll block you on Twitter. So you cannot say that.
Can't say anything.
Next, Xavier Woods and Madcap Moss are playing WWE 2K23.
Of course they are, because they can't do anything else.
Yeah, I guess not. They're not allowed to play any other games. So LA Knight comes up to him and he gets upset that they're wasting time playing video games instead of trying to make themselves better in the ring. And he says that LA Knight should have been at WrestleMania, and Xavier Woods says that LA Knight's making a bunch of excuses, and LA Knight challenges Xavier Woods to a match next week, and Xavier Woods accepts. I like this a lot here. And afterwards, Xavier Woods went back to playing 2K. It looked like they were playing some type of like ladder match on the show. LA Knight wasn't there, though. He wasn't in the game, so I don't know what was going on there. I know why LA Knight got so mad, because it wasn't like they were beating him up in the game, so I don't know why he was so mad at Xavier Woods and Madcap Moss. It was really weird. But what did you think of this?
I liked it, and it's going to be a good match.
Who do you think won that? Do you think they were teaming up in that ladder match, or do you think they were they were opposing opponents, Xavier Woods and Madcap Moss?
I think they were a team.
Do you think they won the match in 2K23? Do you think they lost?
I think they cut, but before we could find out.
Next, Triple H comes out to make an announcement. A lot of people were speculating what this announcement was going to be, whether it was going to be Triple H addressing what happened on Raw, why it was such a bad show. A lot of people were speculating the draft. A lot of other people speculated that he was going to leave WWE because of how bad Raw was and everything like that, which I think you laughed at, Chris. You looked at those news reports and you were like legitimately on the floor laughing. So
I was
bad.
fucking on the floor.
You're probably
I was LMAOing.
I bet you were like you weren't even on the floor. You like, I bet you like took the floor apart and like yeah, and it's the point where you need a new floor. You were just laughing so hard.
It was fucking so. I was dying laughing so hard.
And yet you're still here. I'm so proud of you. Like you survived laughter.
Maybe I did. Maybe I didn't. This might be a ghost, a spooky ghost.
Could be. But Triple H kind of says a lot of the same things from what he said on Raw in the beginning. And then he announces that the WWE draft is coming up. He says it's going to happen in a few weeks. And the biggest thing he says is that anybody is eligible to be drafted, which is exciting. I always enjoy seeing the draft. I obviously haven't enjoyed it the past few years because it was in the Vince era, where he would like undercut the draft immediately because somebody would show up on the opposing brand and he would have like a lame excuse for him, or he would do the wild card rule, or what was the name? Was it brand to brand invitational? That was basically
brand to brand invitational.
So, and to be honest, if this was fully in the Triple H era, I'd be more excited for it. But there could be a week where Vince decides to, like James just said earlier, where Vince decided he's running the show one week and say, oh, the draft, the brand split doesn't mean much tonight. Get this guy over here. We need him on this show this week. That could happen. But if it stays in the Triple H era, I am excited for the draft because I think the draft will actually mean something this time. I think a draft needs to happen because we talked about it. We don't have they do reference a brand split, but they obviously are very selective about it because and I think a draft needs to happen because I think a lot of people are kind of shitting about the fact that Triple H hasn't done a lot with his returns. I think that would fix that issue. Obviously, I don't know what would happen with the draft. Like, would they split the belts up? I definitely think they would split the tag titles up, maybe. I think the women's tag titles would just float to both shows like it was before. Obviously, I think the main championships would float. I feel like, too, if they do a draft, though, they can't split the belts up until Cody beats Roman. I feel like once Cody beats Roman, they should split the belts up, which is why if they were going to announce a draft, why didn't Cody just win at Mania? Would have made all of this so much easier. That is one annoying thing about Cody not winning at Mania, because now because they're doing this draft and everything's just so more. Because I know they're doing a redemption storyline. Like Roman winning at Mania just complicates everything now with this draft coming up now too. But unless Cody goes to SmackDown, but I just don't think Raw wants to lose Cody right now. Because I imagine like Roman's going to be on SmackDown, the Usos are going to be on SmackDown. It's just that's why Roman winning at Mania just overcomplicates the draft now. But I am excited for the draft. I think they can do a lot of cool things with it. But what do you think of Triple H's announcement here? And is there anything you want to say about the upcoming draft?
It's gonna be interesting. I like it.
Yeah. I definitely agree. I don't know how. I feel like they need to get like a GM for SmackDown too, because that's the one thing that ruins the draft is because Adam Pearce just run both shows anyways. I feel like they need to bring somebody in to run SmackDown or something. Maybe it could be Triple
fucking
H.
run it. How about he runs it?
Huh?
How about they both run at the same time?
Imagine too, like they run both Raw and SmackDown, and Adam Pearce has to like be on both shows somehow. That'd be great. Like no virtual things. He's got to like fly to both shows and stuff like that. Like, oh, Adam Pearce would not be a happy camper. I mean, he already isn't a happy camper, but because his job's really stressful. But it's to the point where he's lost. He knew he was getting this job before he signed with WWE because his hair was gone before he even signed. He knew he was going to be the official. That's how bad this job stresses him out. Next, Sami Zayn's backstage, and he wants to go talk to Jey Uso, and he asks a guy backstage where he is because obviously he doesn't have Jay's number or anything anymore because Jay's probably blocked him on his phone and stuff. Like, very mean. And then we have a video package announcing the return of Shinsuke Nakamura. I'm excited to see him come back. We haven't seen him for a while. Have we seen him at all this year? I don't think we have. Like on WWE.
Well, not on WWE, but yeah, we haven't seen him.
I'm excited to see him come back. I was gonna say I would like to.
Shin.
Yeah, I think Wade Barrett said that too. Actually, good old Shin's coming back. I'm excited to see good old Shinny come back. He didn't say Shinny, but What do you think?
You never know. Good old Shinny, Shin.
Are you excited to see Shin come back?
We need the Shin.
Next, Jey Uso's backstage, and Sami Zayn tries to convince him again that the bloodline's crumbling. Even though Roman Reigns kept his belt, he's not very happy with you. Pretty soon he's going to kick you out of the bloodline, and you don't have to necessarily go down with the ship. But Jey Uso never says anything. And we hear Kevin Owens get attacked by Solo Sikoa, and, well, I guess it was just Solo. I said and Paul Heyman, but Paul Heyman was probably just watching. So,
Paul Heyman did do shit.
And Sami Zayn's upset about this and is concerned for his friend Kevin Owens. So it's very sad for him. So, what do you think of this?
If you're Sami Zayn, you're depressed. You don't know what the fuck to do with yourself.
Yeah,
your best friend got taken out for no reason.
Yeah, why was he even there? Like, what was he doing there?
Being a good friend.
Then we have the main event. It was Sami Zayn versus Jey Uso, a match we've all been looking forward to for a while. It's got so much storyline behind it. Before the match, Sami Zayn got interviewed and said that he was going to take out Jey Uso all by himself, but he does not.
What a big boy! What a big boy! A big boy!
Yeah, Solo Sikoa. They basically redo the WrestleMania finish where Zayn gets hit with the Samoan spike and it allows Jey Uso. He doesn't for the win. I think it was meant to be the super kick, but he didn't do. It was not a super kick. He definitely didn't do that. Afterwards,
was it a
Solo
Steven
Sikoa
kick?
Huh?
Was it a Steven kick?
It could have been a Steven kick. Afterwards, Solo Sikoa beats up Sami Zayn some more. He grabs a chair and no, he goes to hit him with the spike again, and Jey Uso stops him. And we think that Jey Uso is going to have a change of heart here. But instead, he turns it around and super kicks Sami Zayn himself and tells Solo to grab the chair. And who comes out? None other than Matt Riddle. At this point, I wasn't sure what Matt Riddle's name was because Michael Cole kept saying Riddle. And I'm like, is he back to Riddle now? But then eventually he calls him Matt Riddle. He attacks both. Well, he attacks Jimmy and Solo because I can't say both Usos because,
No, technically, because they are the Usos.
But the people get confused and think that Jimmy actually did show up. So we can't confuse people, Chris. We can't do that.
Well, too bad for them.
But yeah, Matt Riddle fights off Solo and Jay, and it looks like they're doing Solo versus Matt Riddle probably at Backlash, which I think will be a really good match. I think Solo will probably win that just because there's no reason for Matt Riddle to win. But again, this should have been Matt Riddle's actual return here. It would have made way more sense. I feel like the return on Raw definitely diminished it here because I feel like it would have made more sense. But I like the segment here. I would have liked the Matt Riddle part of it more had it been in his return, but it was what it is. What do you think? I would have preferred obviously to be Cody, but Cody obviously couldn't come out because he's still selling the injuries from being attacked by Brock. But what did you think?
I like it. I like it.
And then that was SmackDown. I thought SmackDown was a really good show. I'm going to give it a B. I think the biggest criticism of SmackDown is, other than the draft announcement, it didn't really feel like anything was really furthered here. It felt like a lot of the same storylines are going on since Mania. And this is one of the consequences of having Roman retain is, nothing really felt fresh on this show. What did you think?
I agree. I think nothing felt really fresh, but yeah, what can we do? Like that's. He's not going to appear on the show.
Yeah. Let's do some predictions now for next week's shows. Tonight, Cody's going to address his future in the company. It's probably going to be like him challenging Brock Lesnar to a match at Backlash. I think that's what's going to happen. I think it's not. I bet there's all these people out there thinking, "Oh, Cody's going to leave. He's going to leave. He's going to leave. He's going to go away." But no, I think he's going to just challenge Brock Lesnar to a match at Backlash. What do you think?
Yes.
We have Raquel Rodriguez and Liv Morgan. They're going to challenge Lita and Becky for the WWE the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships. I almost called them the male tag team titles, but they're not even the male tag team champions.
Oh, so if they change their gender.
Yeah. Well, Becky could, because she is the man.
She is the man.
Yeah. She's already has the nickname ready. Now, if Triple H is running the show, I think regardless, I think Becky and Lita are going to retain. I really don't see a reason for Liv and Raquel to win the belts here. They might tease something where Trish turns, but I don't think she'll actually turn here. I think she's probably going to turn at like Backlash or something. If they do a turn, but again, that's if Triple H is running the show. If Vince is running the show, I imagine Becky and Lita will still just win anyways. There'll be no tease of a turn. They'll just win. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree.
Then Matt Riddle's facing The Miz. That's an easy win for Matt. Well, it won't be easy, but it will be an obvious win for Matt Riddle. What do you think?
I think if Matt Riddle's going to win.
And then I think like he'll have a face-off with Solo. Maybe challenge him to a match at like Backlash or something. On NXT, there's some stuff announced. Ilya I don't know why I said Tyler Bate. Ilya Dragunov is facing Von Wagner. And if Von Wagner does not win, Mr. Stone has to leave NXT. Well, does he have to leave NXT or does he just leave Von Wagner? I'm not sure what the stip is.
I think it's just Von. I think it's NXT, but I think it's Von Wagner at the same time.
Okay. I imagine Ilya Dragunov's winning. I think. I don't think Mr. Stone will fully leave NXT. I think what will happen is he'll get like a new man. He's going to get like a new client within the next few weeks or something. But what do you think?
Yeah, I think it's something. I mean, he's not going to be off TV for long.
Yeah,
he could be managing Ilya Dragunov.
Yeah. He has been like doing some wrestling on the house shows. I think he could come back as a wrestler, but we'll see. I like how I said the house shows, but there's like I think that's like one house show they do that's in like the same area.
All these house shows.
Yeah, and then Chase U's probably breaking up this week, which Chris and I think Chris, there will legitimately be like tears in Chris's eyes once Chase U's break up. I remember you said you're on the floor laughing. I think you're going to be on the floor crying when Chase U breaks up. You're going to be freaking on that floor.
Going to be fucking distraught. What do I to do with myself?
There may be a leak. There may be a leak in the basement, Chris. Will there be a leak in the basement if Chase U breaks up?
There might be a fucking hole. From my tears penetrating the ground.
What, tears made of acid or something? Like,
yeah. Heavy shit. Heavy fucking shit.
I feel like too, like you're gonna be like bawling too. You're gonna have like the loudest like crying noise ever. Your parents are like, you're like, what was that? Like,
you're gonna be like, it's wrestling. It's ruined my life and my perception of humankind.
Do you think there'll be tears in my bed when Chase U breaks up?
Yes. I think you're going to be in so much fucking teary eye, having so much tears and liquids running down your face. You're not going to be able to do it yourself.
I feel like that my bed may be like floated in water when she wakes up. I'm mainly like an oar to get out of my room type of thing.
You're gonna need it because they're gonna be tears.
Are you gonna be able to like talk to anybody when she wakes up? Or you just no, not now. I can't talk.
I can't talk. No, I can't talk. I can't talk. No, I can't talk.
You could do like you could pull like about a GM. Nope, too scared.
Nope, just kid. Nope,
That's still hilarious that was a thing in 2K22. I was like, you asked for something like, and they're like, nope, too scared. Like, what are you scared of? Like
everything.
I guess so. And then on SmackDown, what did they announce on SmackDown for matches next week? I don't even remember.
I don't even think anything's been announced for SmackDown.
By the way, we forgot to cover a few things that happened that like it's a pretty big deal. We forgot to cover Rey Mysterio and Santos Escobar versus Judgment Day. That was great. As official, Legado del Fantasma is no more because they're the LWO now. I know. I think I made everyone nervous. Like, wait, did they break them up? Nope, they're just a new name now. So I think
they're just broken up.
In NXT, they would have been. I mean, did they technically break up in NXT, actually? They technically did break up in NXT.
Did they?
Well, didn't like Santos leave? And I still think that's hilarious, by the way. And he did, we thought like Joaquin Wilde and Wild Mendoza, I almost called him the other name. Can't be doing that.
Cruz del Toro.
I bet you were getting ready to check that off your list.
Oh,
like, he's gonna do it.
It was coming.
But nope, I saved it. I stalked myself. So
no. Keep going. You almost got it there. What's his name?
Wild Mendoza.
Cruz del Toro. Yes. Yes.
I have to ask, what's been the biggest one you're happy that I finally was it JD McDonough or was it Katana Chance?
First of all, it's two of the lamest ones.
I know.
To that, like, first of all, JD McDonough, you could literally just call him Jordan Devil McDonough if you wanted to.
Yep. And Katana Chance, I think you just could care less if I
could care less.
They should just call him JDM as like initials because that would be funny.
Yeah.
Like MVP, but it's JDM, you know.
But then we forgot to cover. So now that we actually covered the Judgment Day segment, does that change your mind about SmackDown, or is it still a B show? Because we forgot to cover it originally. It's a B plus now. Nothing changes. We're gonna cover Level Up real quick. Boa returned here. He faced Dante Chen. I bet you're thinking, oh, Dante Chen probably lost because he's the NXT jobber. Nope, Dante Chen won. So it looks like Boa might be the NXT jobber now. So, and then Sal Ruka and Danny Palmer defeated Last Legend and Jakara Jackson. And then Joe Gacy beat, I almost said Cedric Alexander, but it wasn't Cedric Alexander. It was Oliver Carter. So, and this was the last appearance of the Grizzled Young Veterans. They, I think, right? They have been released, correct?
I don't know.
Yeah, because it's weird because I don't know. Maybe they don't know either. Maybe Grizzled Young Veterans don't even know if they're released or not. They're just waiting. So, the only one that knows is Joe Gacy. So, during the Boa and what's his name match, Dante Chen match, Ava came out and like watched the match. So I don't know if it's a recruitment thing or like setting up a feud type of thing, but only Joe Gacy knows. So we'll see. But yeah, NXT Level Up was like a C-. I really didn't care about it. Wow, not a good week for WWE, huh? Like this is like the lowest grades I've ever given any of the shows. Bad publicity, just not a good week. We have some more bad news. It doesn't look like Bray Wyatt's gonna be back anytime soon. He's still dealing with his. So originally I thought we thought it was an injury, but now it looks like it's a health issue. We don't know when Bray Wyatt will be back. I hope he can come back soon. But he may not want to come back if Vince is back in head of creative because, as you know, Chris, Vince and Bray Wyatt had a weird relationship back in WWE. So I feel bad for Bray Wyatt. I hope he could come back better than ever. I kind of hope they do something new with him. Obviously, we talked about it before. I didn't hate the Uncle Howdy stuff, but I think we have to do something new at this point because it kind of didn't really work. What do you think?
I liked it a lot. But yeah, kind of got, I don't know, they just didn't do anything with it.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be like Vincent and Dutch were supposed to be a part of the group, and then they went and signed with Ring of Honor. So I don't know. It's just bizarre.
Yeah. So we'll have to wait and see on that one. But yeah, Bray Wyatt's still kind of in limbo at the moment. So but yeah, that's pretty much it. I think that's all the news things that's been going on and everything like that. Kind of a depressing week in the WWE Aftershock corner life. It could get more depressing if Chase U breaks up. I don't even think Chris will be able to like even talk when that happens.
No.
He's silent. So, yeah, kind of a depressing episode this week. Very sad. And no one even died or anything like that. It was just a depressing week. I guess Butch died, but you know it. So whatever. Just kind of a whatever week. I hope this week is better. I feel like if Triple H is running everything this week, even NXT, everybody will be happy. Even NXT, I feel like even Kiana James will be happy, but I don't think she's ever happy. So, but yeah, anything that you want to plug or promote, Chris, before we end off this video?
No, not really.
Ooh, don't watch Raw this week. I noticed.
Well, watch Raw.
Ooh, you gotta say what?
And if you don't want to watch it, don't watch it. I'm not gonna. I'm done forcing people to watch fucking Raw. I don't care anymore.
Yeah.
Watch it. Watch it. Don't watch it. Don't watch it. Don't care.
Are they allowed to watch NXT?
Or
Or
they can make up they can decide if they want to watch NXT or not. Because they're big boys and girls.
Yeah.
I would say watch it. But again, if you don't watch it, don't watch it. Because I don't care.
Are they allowed to watch Dora the Explorer, or will you not accept that?
Because if you need someone to tell you how to find a map, you watch that.
He'll tell you he's a map too, by the way. He sends
it's pretty fucking clearly obvious. He says, on the map, on the map, on the map. I mean, if you didn't know by now that was the map, you got some issues.
Yeah.
If you thought it was Swiper, then you got some issues.
Tell him not to swipe. No swiping. Maybe that's how Triple H can like get hold of creative to say, Vince, no swiping, Vince, no swiping. He can just tell Vince no swiping. He'll be out of it. He'll be gone.
That's
Vince,
funny. That's funny.
Dora the Explorer and WWE crossover. Let's go.
No.
I love it.
God, no. Did they make Dora Bailey? Bailey's Dora?
She's going to be Dora, and then she's going to go, where's the map? I can't find it.
Who's the map?
And then
Mercedes took it. She's in Japan now.
On the screen, and it's going to have a flashing thing over the map, and it's going to be like, where's the map? And the map is going to say, on the map, on the map, on the map. And then they're going to pick it up, and they go, oh, there's the map. And then they're going to burn it, and they're going to kill Dora.
Why are they going to kill Dora? Why?
By the way,
she's annoying.
Will there be a mouse? Not the mouse
Actually,
a mouse.
Swiper's going to end up killing them all anyways.
No, that was... Well, I think you meant the fox. There was a mice?
No, I'm saying there's a mouse that like clicks stuff on screens. Is there going to be that on Raw tonight?
Oh, you mean the arrow, the cursor?
Yeah. Yes. I mean, it's a mouse.
That will burn too. Apparently,
everything done.
They're all dead.
Everything dead.
I feel like too. Everyone will tell Vince, no swiping, and Vince will be like, "Oh, I'm swiping everything."
Because Seth Rollins is going to burn it down.
and he got burnt down. He His segment got cut faster than he could burn anything down. That's how fast his segment was cut. He couldn't even burn anything down. He had the match. He couldn't even light the match to burn anything down.
He can't.
He didn't even have time to like pull it out of his pocket. That's how fast his segment was cut.
Nothing to burn down yet.
Yeah. I don't know. I thought making all those jokes about like that would make me feel better, but I think it made me feel worse. It's that bad.
Yeah. So
bad. That was honestly. I know we're gonna end the show right now, but honestly, that Raw just. I think the thing that sucks more is NXT was such a great. I talked to you about it. I didn't even remember anything that happened in NXT until I covered Raw. Until I covered it. At Raw, I remember how bad it was. That's how bad Raw was too. I didn't even talk about that. That's how bad Raw was. Like I remembered it for like a week. I tried to watch like other stuff. Like I'm watching the show Yellow Jackets right now, and I was so upset about Raw that I couldn't even focus on it. It was like, wow. Now, honestly, I think that Yellow Jacket episode was fairly mid, but Raw was so shit. It looked like a fantastic episode. That's how bad Raw is.
It's back now, right? Yellow Jackets.
It is. Oh, you watch it?
Yeah.
We're gonna have to review that, Chris. We're fucking reviewing that tomorrow.
Oh well,
no, we aren't.
But anyhow, yeah, that's how bad. Well, it just sucks. Shit.
Although, a certain man with black hair and a mustache, almost looking like a Hitler, is not going to be there tonight.
Here you go.
Yeah.
But anyhow, let's end the show. Do I have to actually do plugs? James, did you have a video?
I would say no.
There's nothing to plug, really.
No.
Because
the only thing that needs to be plugged, judging by this,
is his butt.
No, not his butt.
No, not that. No.
No. The only thing that needs to be plugged is, well, AEW Spark tonight, but covering week 13, which we weren't able to do last week. That's going to be done by Noah. And then tomorrow night, hopefully, me and Noah will be back on the saddle for AEW Spark week 14. So we'll be caught up with that. And then this week, tomorrow, at 12 o'clock p.m. EST, we are going to have a fantasy booking series, which I was confused. I was confused as to why I didn't see it pop up after I hit it's about to premiere, but it is what it is. I guess it just is what it is, but I'll link it here so that way people can see.
What if I don't want any links?
That's why. I'm an idiot. I didn't set it to premiere. I stoops. Okay, now it should be on the front of the channel. There it is. So episode Fantasy Booking Series episode 9. It's happening. It's Owen and I as a tag team, part 2. It's coming out now. Still not seeing it. I don't know why. What the fuck? You fucking butt. But yeah, it is coming.
One thing I'll plug just in case. Potentially next week, the channel update video my cousin and I made should finally be up. We're gonna finally start launching stuff on the non-wrestling YouTube.
Yes. So. That is impending. We got stuff in the pipeline. I have shit to edit for the intros, and then it's gonna be FTW-ized. Yeah.
So, Chris, I gotta ask you: would you be willing to cover Yellow Jackets on the non-wrestling channel?
Maybe I might.
You have to watch every episode again, I think, because
it's been a long time.
I know.
I don't watch it live either, so.
Neither do I. Cause you act like I watch stuff. You act like I watch. The only thing I watch live is wrestling because I don't have a choice. I don't want to deal with.
Aren't you a big boy?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, he's to be fair with his schedule. I understand. I've been firsthand experience with that shit. Here it is. Here's the link to fantasy booking. That's all I'll plug. But yeah, that's it really. That and Owen the Talking Air. Go subscribe. It's in the description.
No.
Okay.
You might be there, Chris.
You might be there one day. Do you want to do your catchphrase, Owen, or what?
Nah. I'm pretty. Law put me in kind of. No one deserves that catchphrase this week because
Gotcha.
Because this was a bad week. Bad week for WWE. Big L. They took a big L this week.
They did take a big L. That's for damn sure. All right, bye everybody.
Podcast has concluded. Be sure to check out more group discussion as far as WWE content is concerned, and check out more content from For the Win Productions.